We Real Reels. What's up, guys, and welcome to We Real Reels, the monthly podcast where we review old movies to find out if they are as good as we remember, or if they just curse you to watch them forever.
Hey.
I'm your host, Panda Brandon, and with me is my half-brother, the Grizzly Zay.
What up, guys?
And the beautiful Koala Sam.
Hello.
This podcast does contain spoilers, and we'll be discussing the movie at length. This is a mature content podcast, so be prepared for harsh language and awkward situations. All sound clips, music, and trailers are only used for review purposes and belong to their prospective owners. This is also sponsored by The Collector's Comic Book Store, located in Lebanon, Tennessee. You can follow us at The Collector's Toys on Instagram and Facebook.
Woo.
How about that, guys?
I like it.
All right. Let's go ahead and get started with this month's hypothetical.
Oh, I like this one already. It's probably one of our best matchups.
Yeah, how would Calder handle the Tinagami from Night Swim?
Ooh.
It's not a witch, but
It's
I'm sure
something-
he's dealt with something like it.
It's something down there that's evil. It's gotta
Demon,
be. Yeah.
something. He seems so knowledgeable. I mean, he's 800 plus years old. So if it's when he's already at this point in time, 100 or 800 and something years old, I think he would be able to figure it out and conquer it.
Throw some,
I think those three rocks,
Magic in
those
there.
three stones.
yeah, just toss them in the wall.
Yeah.
What was it? The weather runes?
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It'll get rid of whatever's in there, right?
Sure, clean out your plumbing. For
Yeah.
Tell you what. All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and get in our first segment. What you been doing and what you gonna do?
Hey, watch it, pal. What have you been doing? What are you gonna do, huh?
All right, guys. I'm gonna start this one bad boy off. This past month, I got my nephews together and we went down to the arcade. I will say, we had a great time. It's pretty cool getting with Charles and Zavon, and we went to the Flashback Arcade located in Murfreesboro. If you haven't checked it out, I would recommend going down there. You know, once it's worth like a once every 3 month visit or something like that. Not something you go to every weekend, but we went there and I had taken my nieces there before too, and let me tell you, it is completely different with boys and girls. Because the boys, man, they just absolutely loved it. They treated it like kids, and they just had a great time. And you don't have to watch the boys so much, you know. I don't know why it is, but predators, they're not so after the boys so much, you know. But the girls, you got to stay on them, man, or some fucking dude just going to come up and grab them and take them out the damn door. So I didn't have to, I felt a little more relaxed with these guys. They roamed the place. I didn't have to worry about them leaving. And these guys, they're well-mannered and very appreciative. I've got a niece that just don't really care about anything. You could tell she's the only child. And she was like, almost like breaking one of the machines. And the guy was like, hey, you got to calm down. And I was telling her afterwards, hey, we can't be rough with these machines. Why? They'll just get a new one or they'll fix it. And I'm like, wow. Yeah, that's the attitude to have. They'll just fix it, huh? But these guys were awesome, man. They were cool with machines. They listened, except for one time. The guy at the beginning told us, you're not allowed to be on the pinball machines unless you have an adult with you. And Charles, he snuck off over there in one of the pinball machines. And that guy got on him. He was like, hey, you can't keep you over here. Need an adult. But besides that, had a great time with those guys. So it was pretty cool getting the nephews out. I wanted to give somebody a shout out because with me, I'm very honest, and listen, I be throwing some jokes at people, okay? I be throwing some hot fire. But it's fire with no venom in it, okay? I don't mean to hurt nobody's feelings. It's just for a laugh. And so I've been told that I give these little jabs or uppercuts, at Nissan, this dude named Mark, he would say, where'd that uppercut come from? And when I tell him a little jabby joke. There's one person that I know for sure who takes it in stride, they laugh, and then we just move on. And that is Grizzly's wife, Kay.
Hey.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Kay because, I throw all these jokes to people, and some people get their butt hurt and they get feelings hurt and everything. But Kay, she laughs that crap off. I throw a joke at her. She's like, oh, F you. And then we laugh at it, and then there's nothing else afterwards. And that's how it should be. So I just want to give a shout out to Kay. Thank you for having thick skin. Thank you for being a mature individual.
And just awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, Kay. Also, Sam got into another wreck.
Oh, no, Sam.
Yeah.
They cut your finger off this time.
Yeah, they need to cut her license off. That's what they need.
It was not my fault. That was literally in my segment,
my
and
God.
it was going to be an explanation.
Yeah, well, here's my explanation. I get a phone call while I'm at work. And it goes like this. Hello? Hey, everything's fine. I hit a lady. What?
So I didn't realize after he told me the story, that's how I said it. I didn't even, in my head, it didn't come out that way.
I'm thinking, she's like, I'm fine. I'm okay. And I'm like, well, what about the lady? You're going to jail for vehicular homicide. This is manslaughter at the
Hitting
minimum.
pedestrians that's fucking jaywalking and shit.
And I know she had to go to the grocery store, so I'm thinking some old lady crossing the street with her buggy and just go boom. Just gone.
Yeah, you got to clarify things like that.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, yeah, she'll clarify the story, so stay tuned to find out if she really hit a lady or not. I look back at the We Real Reels, man, in the podcast, and we have over 700 plays and over 21 followers, which is pretty awesome because I didn't expect it to even get this big. I mean, that's pretty awesome. And we have listeners all over the world. But because I register this podcast as explicit, we're not played in China. So there's a lot of people missing out on us, man.
That's still awesome, though.
Yep. So, but that is it for me. Next month, I did start working out with Brandon and Spencer. Hilarious too when you get them together for sure. And alone, yeah, you don't even got to talk about that. But I started going to the gym with those guys, and I'm using their like pass for Planet Fitness.
Their guest pass.
Yeah, the guest pass. And yeah, I've just been working out with them, so I'm getting back into it. I know I keep on saying, like, yeah, next month I'm going to I don't ever do shit, but now I've finally done it. I'm back in the gym, baby. And so, yeah, shout out to those guys for letting me use their guest pass.
While he has a at-home gym in the garage.
Hey,
You only do so many exercises with the power
yeah,
rack.
there's only so much motivation
Yeah,
you
and
can get.
then the garage is 95 degrees, so I don't want to die. So I'm going to continue doing that, and yeah, I'm going to keep getting bigger. I'm going to get big, you know, I'm
Get
small
bigger,
now, but I'm
let's
going to get big. But that's it for me. Koala, what do you got?
Well, he kind of brought up the accident, so I will just touch base with that. Y'all know that last month I talked about how I got a brand new car. Not even a month old, y'all. Made me so mad. So I was on the main road. This lady was stopped at a stop sign. Of course, you got to look left, you got to look right. I'm coming from the left, so I'm guessing she already looked left, and then she looked right, and she just went. She didn't reconfirm that somebody wasn't there. So, of course, it was when it was lightly raining. So I immediately slam on my brakes and slam on my horn, and I try to go around her because, of course, she's turning my way. So, of course, she's getting from my lane and going her own way. In my head, if you see somebody that you're cutting off and you see they're right there and they're laying on the horn and everything, put your foot on the fucking gas and go. No, she must have just like freaked out moment and she just like stopped going. So of course I hit her freaking bumper. She had a lot more damage than I did. Mine's just scrapes, but it still made me mad. I was cussing. I had to mute because I was able to do the black view, my video. So I was able to go back on that. And yeah, I was cussing real bad. And of course I had my son in the car. So he said the same cuss word. And I was like, nice. Okay, deep breath.
Nice.
I didn't mean that. I did mean it in my head, but don't repeat everything that you hear from me. And of course, you know, I called 911 and the lady was like, okay, are you hurt? And I said, no. She's like, okay, is the other party hurt? And I said, I don't know. I got my son in my car. I'm not getting out of my car to go walk on the main road because I'm parking in this. They were actually really nice. They'd seen it. They were already outside. So I just parked in their driveway. So yeah, I don't know if that's the expectation of you getting out of your car to go check on the other party, but I don't know. I guess I'm so paranoid where I'm like, I'm not going and checking on the other party. Like, if it's like a major accident, yeah, 100%. But something minor, no, I'm not getting out my car and I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I automatically get out and take pictures. Be like, you all right? All right, I gotta take pictures. You take pictures too? Then we call the cops, and then we get out of the road.
Yep. So I'm battling with her insurance. Like, she already said it was her fault. She didn't look. And the police officer didn't even, like, need to see my camera or the video. And he was like, yeah, it's obviously her fault. But her insurance they're not accepting liability. So I'm just going through my insurance, and my insurance is just going to go after her because I got full coverage. So they're like, yeah, we'll take on everything and we'll go after her and her insurance. And I was like, okay. So pretty much tomorrow I'm dropping my car off to get fixed for the week. Last month, the rest of the time was just working, relaxing. I did try to go kayaking with Alyssa, and it was raining and it was cold. The rest of the week was hot and sunny, but that dang Saturday was cold and rainy. So I was like, try to go. I've been pretty lazy with working out and things, so I gotta get back into that. So that's what I'll do next month. Tomorrow we're gonna go to Nashville Shores, so thank you again for the discount. And then just getting the house ready for the 4th of July party and Grayson's 4th birthday party. So yeah.
All right.
Exciting.
All right. Grizz, what
month.
you got?
So I'm going to piggyback off what Koala said, is that she was supposed to go to kayaking that Saturday. And that was that first time I went to Comic-Con. It was a pretty cool little time. We were sitting out there in the rain. We were seeing people in horrible... I was judging them like a motherfucker. I don't know.
I did not put that on my list either.
I know I seen a Mandalorian dude, and it's like his top half was immaculate. It was perfect. And then look at them shoes. Oh, man, he had them duck shoes on. Oh, man, bro. I was like, God damn. And it was like, Koala said, you judging him and you didn't even dress up. I was like, shut up. Let me take my... Well, I'm pretty much just going around trying to see if there's any pops that I don't have. It was nice, though. I like to see people dressed up. It was pretty cool. I remember seeing Boogeyman.
Oh, man.
It used to be so funny back in the day with him eating worms and stuff. I wish they would have had a little Boogeyman. It'd been cool out there.
Oh, a little boogie.
Yeah, a little Boogie. It would have been fine. But I know that was Grayson's first time, and I had him on my shoulders. And I was taking selfies and stuff with him, and he just kept on trying to look through my pictures with his little finger. That was pretty funny. And that was the day Kay was supposed to go with me. But then that next day, that Sunday, we trying to get up, and she's telling me, hey, come on, get up, come on. Okay, I'm like, okay. So I'm sitting there on my phone. I'm butt naked in the bed. And she gets some clothes, and she goes out, and I hear... She falls. I think the dogs was in her way, so she trips over the dogs, and she just screaming at the top of her lungs. And Matt's there, and her mom's there. So I'm like, okay, she's still screaming. She's not saying anything. She's just screaming. So I ain't got no drawers on, so I just put on some pants. I go running out, and I'm like, what's going on? And she's not saying my leg, my hip, my nut. She's not saying shit. She's just screaming. And Matt's looking down at her, obviously hurt, screaming, and he does not call 911. The mom is sitting there not calling 911. And she's not telling us what's wrong. So, hey.
They're just looking at her.
Call 911. And I'm fucking, is everything okay? I'm reaching down, trying to fucking get her head situated. I try to grab her leg. Nobody's doing anything still. I had to raise my voice, man. I never screamed at anybody so loud to call 911 to get them out, whatever the fuck they was doing.
Yeah.
Because if anything happens, it's like these motherfuckers are just going to stare at the situation and just stuck. So I fucking screamed down 911. Matt hands me the phone. And on the phone, I'm like, hey, I don't know what's going on. My wife is screaming. I think she broke her leg. I don't know what's going on. She's not telling me anything. She's just screaming. Still not saying, hey, it's twisted. It's sprained, nothing. The guy on the phone was like, okay, so what's your address? I get an address. And then she finally speaks up in the middle of screaming, I'm okay. I'm like,
While you're on the phone.
oh, I'm on the phone. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, I'm okay. I think I just sprained my ankle real bad. And I was like, you got to tell dude. So I kind of put the phone close to her face. I'm like, you sure you're good and ain't broke or nothing? She was like, yeah, it's not broke. It's fine. And I was like, well, I guess it's real sprained. I don't know what else to say. She keep on asking me questions. And I think Tom Segura had a joke like that.
Yeah,
and I ain't even think about it until a cop knocked on our door right when we was about to go eat. Because that's why she was getting us up to go eat. So the cop knocks on the door. He opens up. He's like, is everything okay? And I'm like, yeah, everything's fine, man. Thank you. And he's like, I need to see her. And I was like, oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, they think that I beat the shit out of my wife. Broke her leg.
She down, bro.
She down. And so she has weak ankles. She always twists her ankle, sprains it. So she has the boot. So she puts the boot on and she's walking around and she's fine. So the cop comes in. He makes her take it out of the boot and you see the big ass knot. And so he's hanging around. He's like, okay, he's actually seeing it. And then now he's starting to be nice to me. And I'm like, I get it, dog. It's fine. Like, I don't want you to think that I'm some wife beater. And so he comes in, he's petting the dogs, and everything goes great. But I told her next time something happens, you need to say, hey, it's sprung, it's twisted, it's broken. Tell me anything except for not saying anything and screaming because I'm going to the maximum.
Right.
So, hopefully we got that under control. But then this past month, there's a lot of stuff to happen to me this month, man. My dad normally does these cookouts. So he does block parties. And it's nothing really important happened to this, but it made me so sad to be a Grizzly in this situation because he's out there cooking. I'm helping him. So we cooking burgers and everybody knows what a cook's tax is. Cook's tax. So cook's tax is the cook of the event can bring their own food and cook everything themselves so they can take something, home. And so the party themselves, they bring their own chicken. So they cook all the chicken that they had. They had like 2 or 3 pans. So it's a whole bunch more than we had at my party. And everybody at this party pretty much ate all the chicken in like 2 minutes. All of it. There's no more. So we're going to cook ours now, right? Mm-hmm. So we put ours on there and it's almost done. But we telling them as they're lining up right behind the grill. Mm-hmm. You can't have none. You can't have none. Nobody can have none. This is ours. Mm-hmm. This is my granny's going to eat this. My mom's going to eat this. My dad's going to eat this. This is our family's food. Y'all not going to have none. And there's these females just pushing and trying to get on up in there and let me get that piece of chicken. Is that almost done? Is this almost done? Apparently one of them pushes or makes another one angry. These bitches start fighting over chicken.
Oh, shit.
Fighting over chicken. Huh?
Are they white or no?
No, they're Grizzlies.
I missed that part.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed that part.
So there's a video of 2 Grizzly bitches fighting over chicken. They could have just sat the fuck down and ate hamburgers, hot dogs, and all that shit.
I will say, I'm sorry. But your dad's cooking.
Hey,
it might be worth fighting over that dog.
Yep. I'm still mad at that situation too. That I didn't get it. I'll talk about it later. But yeah, so there's a video out there of 2 bitches fighting over chicken, titties and shit flopping everywhere. And they get up and then this bitch is like, I can't believe I'm sitting here fighting over some chicken or this. I'm like, bro, I need to lose that attitude, man. I don't know what the hell the problem is. Sit the fuck down and eat a burger or something. But then that next weekend is my birthday. So I went here to pretty much scavenge as much stuff as possible because people be throwing block parties and then have a whole bunch of stuff left over. So we had 240 burgers. We had 180 burgers, 240 hot dogs. I had just as much buns. I had 96 sodas, 1,000 plates. Everything. So I didn't have to buy a whole bunch of stuff for my party. So only thing I really had to buy was the ribs and the chicken. And y'all had both.
That's what's up.
And yeah, I didn't have to pay for that much. But my party, we bought this big old tent that we got for free. And I sat it back there and we strung some lights up. And it was probably one of the chillest days I've had in a little bit, man. It was pretty nice. I'm glad y'all came. I'm glad anybody that showed up to listen to this podcast came. It was a nice little day.
It was all right. It was all right.
I wish I would have saved some ribs because me and my wife only had 3 bones of ribs. Everybody else just seemed like they
were
just
delicious.
Man.
Did y'all end up cooking the burgers? Because they were still frozen.
Yeah.
Kayla's just like, if they're frozen, I can't do anything with them.
Everybody kept saying, bro, if you don't cook these burgers, man, well, we ain't cooking no burgers. Fuck it.
Bring them to the 4th, big dog. Bring them to the 4th.
You can't bring some 2 weeks later when you put it in the water in the sink.
Oh, they thawed them out?
They were trying to.
No,
they were
I got another one.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's another 80. I can bring it.
Yeah, bring it.
I mean, they got to be brought cooked. I don't got a grill. Oh. So you got to already have them cooked.
Oh, hell no. Like that.
Sorry.
I'll see if I can bring my grill. If I can't, then we're not going to have no extra burgers. Okay. That was my month.
What are you going to do next month?
4th of July. That's my favorite holiday.
My bad.
I like to pop up as much fireworks as we can, and we still got the same arrangement as last year. Yeah, ready for that. I'm inviting a couple more people that might be bringing a couple $100 worth. I think this is the year O'Dane and Tobias, I already met them. Gonna come up here and bring some. Yeah, that's pretty much my plan. Get ready for the vacation.
Ready for that. That's going to be all right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you for that, Grizz. Then we're going to go ahead and jump into your segment, which we like to call Grizzly's Anime in Arms.
It's over 9,000.
All right, guys. I'm a pivot a little bit. I normally like a bunch of violence. I like a lot of blood. I don't really care for a good storyline. I just want to see fighting. This one right here is called Faraway Paladin, and it's on Crunchyroll. I think it started everything in 2021. It has 2 seasons and is confirmed with a 3rd. This one right here has a great storyline, but it's slow. Normally, I hate slow. Like, as long as you put your phone away and you pay attention to this could be one of the top animes that we've seen. The animation's great. The character development is great. I like it. I really like it, but it's just missing something just to get over that hump, over the top. But this one is in a ruined city of the dead. Far from human civilization lives a single child named Will. He is raised by 3 undead people. One of them name is Blood, who's a skeleton warrior. Another one is Mary, who's a mummy priestess. And Gus, who's a crotchety old wizard. And 3 of them teach this boy everything that he needs to know about surviving in this new world that he just woke up from. With the mysteries hidden in his faraway land, he learns love, mercy for gods, and as well as paranoia and madness of evil gods. So he's pretty much training to become a warrior priest. And you clearly, from me telling you this, hopefully you guys see that nobody else in this world is a paladin. But this guy is so strong from, these undead warriors teaching him how to do this that he's unparalleled in a lot of his fighting abilities. Blood teaching him fighting, Gus teaching him magic, and Mary teaching him grace and religion. His name is William. Is destined to become someone special in this world. He doesn't have any friends because he's only grew up around undead people. So he's going through life trying to figure out how this world ended up the way it is, because a lot of it is destroyed from the past Demon King. So he wants to meet as many friends as possible and find out about this world. Okay, so these 3 are known as his parents, and then Gus is known as his grandfather. And like I said, these are undead creatures, and he also has to fight the urge to befriend other undeads in this world because every undead that he knows are friendly to him. So the ones that are unfriendly, he doesn't know how to deal with it because he sees them as family also. But there's witches, there's wizards, there's elves, there's dwarves, there's every type of D&D character. That's what this show originated from. It's from D&D. I really think that you guys, if you put the phone away, because I say it's slow. Like the first 3 episodes, you'll start to get the feel of this anime. The fight scenes are not all light and extraordinary fights. They're like methodical. Like he has to do this to achieve that, and then like the what is it called? The strategy.
Okay.
There's a fighting strategy to it. Yeah, but I think it's one of the easily the best storytelling anime I've seen with not too much blood. You would want to watch this for character development of key people and the envious and jealous behavior of gods and goddesses that try to destroy or recruit William to their side because he's the only paladin in this world. And I really like this protagonist because he's never as strong as he wants to be. He has to rely on his friends to pick up his slack where he can't like pull it. So he needs his friends to help him out, do what he needs to do. But all in all, like, I know this is fast, and I know you guys really like some of the animes that I put out here, but I think this one, if you look at the storytelling, this is on par with some of the best, because this is an isekai. I told you guys what an isekai is before, right? It's you come from another world and you're born into this one. And then now this world that you're living in now has certain rules that you can abide by. So this one is an isekai, but I believe this is one of the best ones that we've had. But you just got to pay attention to it. As long as you pay attention, there's a whole lot of information coming at you. There's a whole lot of strategy coming at you where he's fighting wyverns, dragons, undead. There's dungeons. Like I said, it kind of puts you in the mindset of D&D and also Lord of the Rings, something like that. But it's just him trying to go through life and understand this new world that he's born into.
Sounds really interesting.
Yeah, I hope you guys will really get into it.
I would give it a try.
But it's called Faraway Paladin.
Well, thank you for that, Grizz. I have to check that out. Now, boys and girls, I hope you're ready for our next segment, Panda Tales.
Sit back and prepare yourself for Panda Tales.
You know what that reminds me of? Those old Halloween decorations when you step on them.
Reminds me of Goosebumps.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this month's Panda Tales is about real life witch hunters. And the most famous one that I could find was Matthew Hopkins. From 1620 to 1647, he was doing his witch hunting. He was an English witch hunter whose career flourished during the English Civil War. He was mainly active in East Anglia and claimed to hold the office of Witchfinder General, even though, the official parliament never recognized that. But following the Lancaster witch trials, which took place from 1612 to 1634, William Harvey, a physician to King Charles I of England, had been ordered to examine the 4 women accused, and from there, this came a requirement to have material proof of being a witch. The work of Hopkins and John Stern was not necessarily to prove any of the accused had committed acts of malfeasance, but to prove that they had made a covenant with the devil. Now, before this point, any malicious acts on the part of witches were treated identically to those of other criminals. So, you did something crazy, somebody called you a witch, you get stuff that happened to you like you was a thief or whatever. But, according to contemporary beliefs about the structure of witchcraft, they owed their powers to a deliberate act of their choosing. Witches then became heretics to Christianity, which became the greatest of their crimes and sins. Within continental and Roman law, witchcraft was crimen acceptum, a crime so foul that all normal legal procedures were superseded, because the devil was not going to confess. It was necessary to gain a confession from the human involved. The witch hunts undertaken by Stern and Hopkins were mainly in East Anglia in the counties of Suffolk, Essex, Norfolk, Cambridgeshire, and Huntingdonshire, with a few of the counties of northern Hampshire and Bedfordshire. They like the shires out there. They extended throughout the area of strongest Puritan and parliamentary influences, which formed the powerful and influential Eastern Association from 1644 to 1647, which was centered on Essex. Both Hopkins and Stern would have required some form of letters of safe conduct to be able to travel throughout the counties. Now, methods of investigating witchcraft drew heavy inspiration from demonology of King James I, which was directly cited in Hopkins' The Discovery of Witches book, because he wrote his own book. Although torture was nominally unlawful in England, Hopkins often used techniques such as sleep deprivation to extract confessions from his victims. He would also cut the arm of the accused with a blunt knife, and if she did not bleed, she was said to be a witch. Another of his methods was the swimming test.
A blunt knife.
Yep.
So stupid.
Based on the idea that as witches had renounced their baptism, water would reject them. So suspects were tied to a chair and thrown into the water. All those who swam or floated were considered to be witches. So if you drowned, you were human.
So if he was really obese and fat,
You were a witch.
damn it, I'm a witch.
But if you drowned, they were like, well, she wasn't a witch.
But she's dead.
Sorry, man.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry about your daughter. So then Hopkins was warned against using the swimming test without receiving the victim's permission first. This led to the legal abandonment of the test by the end of the 1645. Now, Hopkins and his assistants also looked for the devil's mark. This was a mark that all witches or sorcerers were thought to possess that was said to be dead to all feeling and would not bleed, although it was sometimes a mole, birthmark, or an extra nipple. If the suspected witch had no such visible marks, the invisible ones would be discovered by pricking. Therefore, witch prickers were employed who pricked the accused with knives and special needles looking for such marks. Normally, After the suspect had been shaved of all their body hair, it was believed that the victim or the witch's familiar in an animal such as a cat or a dog would drink the witch's blood from the mark as a baby drinks milk from the nipple. Hopkins and his company quickly ran into opposition after their work began, but one of his main antagonists was John Gowell, vicar of Great Staughton in Huntingdonshire. Gowell had attended a woman from St. Neots who was held in Gowell charged with witchcraft until such time as Hopkins could attend. Upon hearing that the woman had been interviewed, Hopkins wrote a letter to a contact asking whether he would be given a good welcome. Gowell, hearing of this letter, wrote his publication, Select Cases of Conscience Touching Witches and Witchcrafts, London, and he dedicated to Colonel Walton of the House of Commons and began a program of Sunday sermons to suppress witch hunting. Matthew Hopkins died at his home in Manningtree, Essex on the 12th of August, 1647, probably of pleural tuberculosis. He was buried a few hours after his death in the graveyard of the Church of St. Mary at Mistle Heath. In the words of historian Malcolm Gaskill, Matthew Hopkins lives on as an anti-hero and boogeyman, utterly ethereal, endlessly malleable. According to historian Russell Hope Robbins, Hopkins acquired an evil reputation which in later days made his name synonymous with fingerman or informer paid by authorities to commit perjury. What do y'all think about old Matt Hopkins, huh?
Kind of like a dick.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck he was doing.
I mean, nobody did, bro. Like, witch hunting back in the day, that crap was crazy. You just point out a lady who you didn't like, and like, she's a witch. And then they're like, all right, drown her.
Yeah, that don't even make any sense.
Well, I do have an opposing story to that, and it's about the actual witches. Well, a legend of witches. This legend is about the Salem witches, which happened in 1693. There were 3 of them. They were sisters. They claimed to be witches, and they had one sister lure Emily Binks from Salem, Massachusetts, to their cottage in the woods. Her older brother Thackeray followed in an attempt to rescue her. However, he failed and was quickly dispatched by the sisters. He brewed the sisters who brewed an alleged life potion and used it to kill Emily on Halloween night. After stealing her life force, the sisters were rejuvenated and made younger, or so they say. After Thackeray calls one sister a hag, she decides not to kill him as punishment, and to their amusement, she and her sisters transform him into a black cat who must live forever with his guilt of failing to save his Emily. The townspeople, led by the Binks' parents, arrived and seized the sisters on the same night. The 3 witches were hanged by the Salem townsfolk, but not before they cast a curse. And the curse is this: if a virgin should light the black flame candle on All Hallows Eve with a full moon in the sky, the Sandersons vowed they would one day return to revenge all of Salem. How about that, guys?
I like me some hocus pocus.
Sounds familiar. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
There's some crazy stuff happening this week.
Yeah, I know.
From last month's Crystal Lake to this month's Legend of the Sandersons, man. It's there's some crazy stuff going on out there.
Salem is crazy with witches, man.
I would not want to be born there.
Yeah. Well, that is it for Panda Tales. Now we're going to move on to our movie review. But before we do, we always like to enjoy our movie review with an adult beverage. And this month's beverage is Douce's Cognac. The bold yet remarkable smooth character of Douce Cognac was founded by Sean J.Z. Carter and conceived by the senior-most seller master working today, Michael Casavecchia, one of the world's greatest authorities on cognac. He has been curating spirits for more than 20 years at the prestige Chateau de Cognac. This 200-year-old venue, one of the oldest cognac houses in France, is where Casavecchia created Douce. Now, if you don't know what cognac is, it's a wine-based spirit solely produced in the Cognac area of France. To be considered cognac, it must be made from white grapes from one or more of 6 approved growing regions. Cognac must grow through a double distillation process, and the liquid that results from the distillation is called eau de vie. which translates to water of life. Cognac must be aged at least 2 years in French oak cask and can be a minimum of 80 proof by volume. I couldn't find any movies that this was.
Sounds very specific.
The Golden Cross.
That's right. 2 crosses. That's some kind of Illuminati stuff, ain't it?
I don't know.
Since Jay-Z has got
Yeah.
Illuminati.
I like it so much. It's so smooth to me.
That hurt.
That's terrible.
Oh my God. You're not supposed to breathe it in.
Yeah.
Supposed to drink it.
Yeah. You don't put it up your nose.
What's wrong with you?
Come on, Koala.
Well, let's get into this movie review of The Last Witch Hunter.
Father?
You have tasted more of life than I can ever imagine. But your story has no end.
Do you know what it's like to live forever?
Your immortality has made you the greatest soldier of the Axe and Cross in a war between our world and the next.
I've waited my entire life for the opportunity to help you.
Well, now's your chance. You want to quit?
No, I want to raise.
You're a dream walker. Get out. I need you to take me to the dream world. It's the only way to fight what's coming.
If you die in there, you die out here. And I need you to wake up. You are in a trap!
Yeah, you're not qualified for what happens next. The most powerful witches that ever walked the earth are here to destroy us.
And so it begins.
There's some very bad things out there.
Who says that a witch can't hunt witches?
You know what I'm afraid of? Nothing.
So after hearing that, would you consider Vin Diesel monotone?
After hearing that, I wouldn't want to see the movie. I already watched it.
I mean, yeah, it does literally tell you everything.
Well, that is The Last Witch Hunter.
Wait, you didn't answer my question.
And as of June, you can watch it on HBO Max, or you can buy it on digital or physical. It's directed by Breck Esner, who also directed Fault Crimes, Sahara, The Crazies, also some television episodes from shows like The Invisible Man, Wilder, Taken, Beyond, Fear Itself, The Brave, and all of The Expanse. Have y'all seen any of those?
I've seen The Crazies, and I think I've seen one of his shows.
Is The Invisible Man the one with the blue suit on Amazon Prime?
Probably haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. Well, then I haven't seen any of those.
Oh, wow. I know Sahara
I
had
was
Matthew
thinking-
McConaughey in it.
I was thinking of Invincible, the Invincible Man.
Oh, yeah, you are terrible.
Yeah, no. Okay, I've not seen any of those.
This movie starring Vin Diesel, Elijah Woods, Rose Leslie, Julia
Roberts.
Engelbrecht, and Michael Caine. It came out on October... No, Julia Roberts. It came out on October 23rd, 2015. It had a New York release date of October 13th, 2015. But other movies that came out in October of 2015 were The Martian, Sicario, Pan, The Walk, Steve Jobs, Crimson Peak, Goosebumps, Bridge of Spies, Woodlawn, Paranormal Activity, The Ghost Dimension, Rock the Kabash, and Burnt. Seen any of those?
I think beyond Goosebumps, none of them.
What?
And I probably haven't even seen
You've seen
that
The Martian?
Goosebumps. I don't know.
With Matt Damon.
Yes,
he got stuck.
Matt Damon.
He got stuck on Mars, and he had to. That's a good one.
Is that something that you put on? Because if he didn't put it on, I didn't watch it.
No, I didn't watch Martian.
Okay, then no, I have not watched it.
This movie made $146.9 million on an estimated $90 million budget.
It made that much money?
That's right.
And they put that much money into it?
That's right.
I bet most of that money was just to go to Vin Diesel.
Dang, you think you're selfish like that?
Oh, I don't know. I ain't trying to get sued, so I don't know. I ain't gonna do my opinion. But after watching that movie, I would not expect them putting 94 million into it.
But listen, we don't make any money on this podcast, and we don't make any money, period. So if anybody were to sue us, they would lose money trying to sue us. That's how broke we are. Let's get into the plot of this bad boy. The modern world holds many secrets, but the most astounding secret of all is that witches still live among us. Vicious, supernatural creatures intent on unleashing the Black Death upon the world. Armies of witch hunters battle the unnatural enemy across the globe for centuries, including Calder, a valiant warrior who managed to slay the all-powerful Queen Witch, decimating her followers in the process. In the moments right before her death, the Queen curses Calder with her own immortality, forever separating him from his beloved wife and daughter in the afterlife. Today, Calder is the only one of his kind remaining, and he has spent centuries hunting down rogue witches, all the while yearning for his long-lost loved ones. However, unbeknownst to Calder, the Queen Witch is resurrected and seeks revenge on her killer, causing an epic battle that will determine the survival of the human race. Now that's it for you.
It sounds interesting. It sounds up my alley with witches, mortality, magic, all of that.
So you've seen the movie. Wait, if it wasn't Vin Diesel, do you think you would see this movie on your own?
If they changed a few things along with Vin Diesel, yeah. Because I don't know. After watching it, just looking at him, he's, I guess, monotone with his voice and also with his facial expression. He either has normal face or like angry, pinchy forehead face look. But beyond that, he doesn't really have in between.
Well, he smiles every now and again.
Yeah.
I just wish at some point, like, she grabbed a broom and was like, let's go. And he's like, no. And then, like, his car, Fast and Furious, shows up, and he's like, this is about family.
I mean, they did do a lot of car scenes unnecessarily. So they did do a shout out to it.
Well, we start off in this wintry landscape with what seemed to be a Viking-like warriors with a priest leading them to a certain location.
They are walking. Do they not have horses?
They got air forces?
Do they not have horses?
Oh.
Horses probably died a long time ago. That's cold.
Yeah, it's cold. It's cold.
I mean,
when they arrive, we see a giant tree. They approach it, and it has skulls and sticks in different shapes in this massive tree. I'm not talking about a huge tree. It has decay and dead things inside.
so first of all, I already see kind of inconsistency with the set with characters. Because you see Vin Diesel, he got some like dark blue lips thinking that he's super cold. But he got this nice hairstyle where he's half bald or half shaved with his ears out. His ears aren't red. His head ain't cold. That's an inconsistency to me. And then also coming upon this tree, you already know that the Witch Queen is in there. Something they're going to attack is there. I would just burn the shit down. I wouldn't even gone in because that would have gone into her territory. You're already asking for some trouble. Like, bring her out. So if you burn the tree down, she's gonna come out, and then y'all are on a neutral territory.
Well, how about that?
How about that?
I guess you're expert in the Arctic now.
You'll see that they have their own torches.
Arctic and witches, apparently. You know the famous Sam the Witch Hunter.
I mean, McCready didn't have a hat over his ears, and his ears weren't red. Okay.
Who?
McCready, the one with the hat you love from the thing.
No, that was stupid. That was a pointless hat, and also
That was amazing.
he's supposed to be in the Arctic. It's supposed to be what, -50 degrees or something. His ears would have been frozen frostbite off.
The priest blessed the soldiers, and he tells them that their families and friends will be avenged from a witch. So we know this witch has killed all their families and friends.
Bunch of people.
They climb deeper into the tree. As they're exploring the inside of the tree, an explosion happens, and it seems to be a woman.
Wait, can we talk about the torches real quick? Did you notice that all they had to do, the first time that you seen the torch, one of the guys ended up just like scraping it against his side, and then it just like poof came up into sparks. Is that even legit? Like, is that, did they have
already soaked in something, and then the flint on his armor or something just make a spark? That's all you need.
Okay, I didn't know if that was like a new technology or if they had that back in
800 years ago.
No, we had Flintstones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
Get it? Flintstones.
Okay.
The lady is tied by vines, or she is vines, where she ends up using magic to poison one of the soldiers. Calder, the man who seems to be the most experienced hunter, kills some of the minions that the witch is using, and he uses some kind of channel that's in his sword to pump some kind of flammable liquid.
It looked like iron because he said it was iron and flame.
Because they didn't have gas or nothing back then. Okay, but this guy is not a commander. He's not a captain.
Nope.
He's just amazing at fighting witches and stuff.
I'm assuming he's just the same as everybody else. They're just villagers.
Such a good fighter, and you're not even a commander or anything. Like, you should be the leader of this coalition.
He's a family man.
While literally everybody else is dying. Did you see the one was the witch queen ended up touching him or did some spell and he like spasmed out and a whole bunch of bees or flies came out? That's a terrible death. And the other one was I don't know, looked like a zombie witch thing. Ended up scraping the guy with the metal suit in it, and it like squished him. Those are some terrible deaths. And then everybody else had so much trouble fighting off everything. Yeah. But he's over here like killing like 4 people.
Orcs? What were they?
No.
Were they goblins? Like, what the fuck were they?
Is it the witch?
Grudge.
I mean, was it the witch possessing them or helping, like, her minions?
Yeah,
that's
the
minions.
What I
took it.
I thought those goblins. I don't know. They look like they were.
The deformed people the village done kicked out.
Apparently.
But I imagine Calder is exactly that. He's a family man. You know, I don't even know if he was really signed up for this army. It's just once his family died, he was like,
he went.
That's all I have to do is train and kill this witch. She killed my family, so that's my motivation. Just simply train and kill.
I wish we had a little backstory or something.
Right.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. But his sword catches fire, and he begins slaughtering these goons, these evil souls. But after clearing the battlefield, he hunts for the witch alone. He hears his daughter calling him, and he feels her come to hug him. But when he realizes it was just a skeleton. That's when the witch finds him and knocks him through a hole in the tree. He plummets down and down until he hits the bottom. And when he looks up, these bees or flies are rushing in to him. And I don't know what's going on, but I guess it's the witch's way of teleporting because she just shows up out of nowhere out of all the bees and witches and flies and gnats.
They're
witch wasps.
You're also bypassing the long-ass fall that would have fucking killed him. Like, that was a long fall. He would have been dead.
Well, he had a lot of branches on the way.
He had branches and then he had armor. Okay? Fall-proof armor.
The witch says that he's a trespasser on their world and he must perish. And these vines come out of the ground and they grab Calder and they hold him down to the ground, which we end up seeing that this black liquid leaking out of his bag, he ignites with his sword.
Which somehow he got out of the vines.
And
I think he had it before.
He had the sword next to him because it wasn't really showing that obviously he was trying to grab for something, but like in a short view of it, I didn't see his sword near him.
The sword was next to his hip.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it ignites the oil or gas or whatever it was, which causes an explosion inside the tree. Now, this gives him somewhat of an advantage being surrounded by fire because I think these witches are at least a tree witch is weak to fire.
Yeah.
But he blew up. It blew up, right? So how is he still alive?
Well, it's not.
It was oil on fire, and it.
I don't see how he's not on fire, but not an explosion.
I don't know how he exploded. Well, the oil don't explode.
Yeah.
Oil just burns.
Yeah.
But the fire went everywhere.
Yeah, because just like a forest fire. It's just going to go its own separate way, but I don't see how he's not on fire.
Right.
Well, this gives him the advantage because he's surrounded by fire, and he's able to impale the witch against a tree and take his flaming sword and goes to stab her.
Well, she said, he was like, by fire and iron or something, and then, but didn't he go through her chest, which her chest is in her, like her heart's in her chest.
Mm-hmm. Not in her whole chest.
Yeah, but it looked like the view of it looked like it went through the heart.
Well,
obviously not, because she's... I feel like they should have did something different. Don't do the chest. Do like the stomach or something. I don't know, something to not have someone be like so nitpicky. I'm being nitpicky.
Yeah, you really are. And he goes to stab her, but as he does, she curses him with the life because he wishes for death after his family was murdered. And now she made it to where he can't die. The last witch hunter.
Nice.
Flashes on the screen. And then we see a modern day. Airplane flying to the sky and Calder's looking out the window as passengers are on the flight. And he blows his hot ass breath all over the window. And it looks to be some kind of a sigil or symbol on there. And you hear him say, magic.
So I'm assuming he I don't know. No, I'm good. I'm assuming he felt magic in the air or just looking out the window.
No, I think he felt turbulence and then he started looking towards...
No.
Okay.
Because
every piece of glass he finds, he blows on with his hot ass breath. And if he sees a sigil, he knows.
No, because it was starting to storm. Like there was lightning and then thunderclouds
maybe the
outside.
Storm did seem unnatural, and he just like, hey, something's going on here. So he takes the staple from.
Sorry. So. So with the whole blowing on the window. Would it be on that symbol, be on every single window on that plane? Maybe. Or was it just like, he just happens to be on?
I think in this world, when magic's present, whatever piece of glass is there, there's a sigil appears on it. You just have to blow on it, because that's what it's been showing us, at least in this movie.
Okay.
So that's how this magic works in this world. But you hear him say magic, and he takes a staple from a magazine and places it in a cup of water. And I guess it points him towards the witch or the magic user. And he finds a woman, and his ring lights up when he touches her. He pours the water on a passenger that was sitting there next to her. And the guy's like, what the crap?
Vin Diesel just had to look at him, and he got up.
Yeah, I'll go clean this off, but I'll be back. But that makes the guy move. So she says, you're a witch hunter, the woman says. And he says, yeah, and I love family. No, he didn't say that. So he says, let's see it. And she reaches in her bag and pulls out these like stones, like quartz and then gold or rock or something. And he says that they're ancient runes. They can manipulate the weather.
Why would she not already be knowledgeable? Like if they're such ancient runes and if she's specifically going to get them, I'm assuming she would have done her research, right? So she would know what to do and what not to do.
Maybe she's a young witch just discovering she's a witch and she doesn't know about a lot of this stuff. So she just jammed them in her bag together, which causes this thunderstorm. At 40,000 feet up, you can put something on the stones.
You put like salt or something on it.
Yeah.
Which also, how did he get that through the security? Because there's like many vials and he had sharp
he's
stuff
the witch
in.
hunter. He knows, man. Come on.
Everybody knows
These
salt's
humans
allowed.
Oh, you know what?
Don't know.
You know what? Actually, this wasn't in the U.S. This was Abu Dhabi, and they let a lot of shit go in Abu Dhabi.
And, well, lightning starts to strike the plane.
Whole bunch of terms.
But he puts two metal prongs into the stones as if he's trying to pull out a splinter and ends up pulling one of the runes from itself, separating it and causing the storm to subside. And she asks, are you going to turn me over to the witch capital? And he says, no. And she says, are you going to kill me? He said, I just stopped you from killing yourself. And as he walks back to his seat, the stewardess asks him to get back to the seat. He introduces himself, and he says he'd love to know what it's like to grow up in Sephora. And she's like, what? I didn't say I was in there. He's like, yeah, I could tell from your accent.
Well, he didn't say his accent. He was just like, no, she didn't even say, I haven't had accents for years. And he's just like, oh, I've met many, many people or something like that.
Yeah, you can always tell.
Which also, did you catch the fact that he took those ancient runes? Like, she put those in her bags, and he folded it up in the same cloth that she had in her bag and put it in his pocket and dipped the fuck out. Like, he took them
Well,
with
she's
him.
obviously not responsible enough to keep them.
Well, I mean, like,
Yeah, she can't have
she
those.
may have had a reason for
It's like
those.
giving a 5-year-old a gun. Like, no, sir, you can't have that. It's mine.
Yeah, she gonna fuck some shit up in the hair.
But listen to this. Witches live among us in secret. Their magic passed down for centuries diluted, half forgotten, and dangerously powerful. After centuries of conflict, a truce was forged. Witches would be allowed to live in and govern themselves if they followed one strict rule, that magic never be used against humans.
Very nice.
But the truce is a fragile thing. There are some that long return for the old days, the dark days of the Witch Queen. It is those whom Calder deals with for 800 years. He has served the axe and cross together. We have kept watch and kept the peace. And that was from the 36th Dolan. And he was saying that to us, I guess, narrating a little bit. And he walked into a hotel. He goes up to the guy, and the guy's like, sorry, he's in a meeting.
I already knew he was getting asked from the stewardess. Yes, I already knew it.
And so he waits in the lobby area, and the elevator opens up, and this beautiful woman comes walking out with a stewardess uniform on.
Fun fact, stewardesses are top 5 of the most likely to cheat.
Is nurses number 1, bro?
Nurses number 1.
Bro.
For real?
Yeah.
Dang.
Nurses and first responders are 1, 2, and 3.
Wow.
Dang.
And then I think stewardess is number 4, and then something else is number 5. Like
Another fun fact, stewardesses are not allowed to change clothes. After they get off, they got to stay in that uniform.
For real?
No, but this lady did. she went from the airport, didn't change clothes, went all the way to this guy's hotel room, didn't change clothes.
And she had a suitcase with her, too.
Didn't take a shower, dirty bitch.
But once he sees that woman, Dolan says, the meeting is adjourned. And then he goes up and it tells us that he's the 36th Dolan, and he writes Calder's history as his handler and his confessor as well. He likes to thank his friend. So he meets with Calder to discuss the mission, and Calder had bought Father Delaney, who was the 36th Dolan, an iPad. But he re-gifted it because Father Delaney ain't here for that. Mm-hmm. He's here to tell Calder that he's going to retire. Since Calder is immortal, he's known all 36 Dolans since, he's known all 36 Dolans plus the 36th Dolan. He's known him since he was a child.
Oh, my first question with all the Dolans is, are they all, I'm assuming they're all through the Axe and Cross, obviously. But how did they get there? Were they there as children and then grew up knowing that that was their role? Or did they get picked? Or were they all like, the first Dolan gave birth
voluntary.
to a son and that was the second Dolan, and so forth, so forth,
I don't
so
think
forth.
it's a heritage thing. I think it's a church thing. And then if you're, you know about the program, if you want to sign up, you can sign up. If you're picked, you're picked. The 36 tells Calder that you will like your successor. And Calder says that there has been 35 before you, and you're the only one whose advice I'd listen to. And 36 Dolan tells Calder, what would you do if your next mission was your last? And Dolan, God dang it, 36, I'm just going to call him 36, okay? 36 tells Calder that you're missing out on the best part of our brief stay on this world, which is sharing our life. And he tells him to find someone. He tells him that the nightly visits with the stewardesses are only a temporary thing. You know, you're just not some really going to last, Calder asks. Well, see what I mean? This fucking up right here. What the hell am I talking about? I don't know
Something like this isn't going to last. Or something like that, maybe?
Well, something like this ain't going to last is what it pretty much is saying. With the stewardess and whatnot. And Calder says...
36
Dolan.
No, yeah, Calder says, what do you know about stewardesses? And 36 is like, I wasn't always a priest. You know, I wasn't born a priest.
Well, also, why did he not like the other Dolans? Like, what's so special about 36? Or why does he have such a weird attitude with all the other ones?
It's because he's English.
That might be it. But 36 is discussing a few tips and tricks with the new Dolan. What to expect, how to file your reports, what about truth and responsibility. And he makes him promise that he'll take care and look out for Calder. As the new Dolan leaves the apartment building, we see a bearded man watching him leave. And then he looks back at the entranceway. The next day, we see Calder working on watches. I guess because he has all the time in the world.
Or it's his collection of watches that he's had throughout the years.
Well, Calder gets a call from Dolan the 37th.
I feel like this scene, just so emphasized him. The phone ringing, him picking the phone up, him looking at it, answering it, bringing to his ear, and then listening. And I'm like, the scene, I don't know. It just took too long. It was
weird for me because the 37th Dolan didn't sound like the kid. You know, was there a temporary 37th or what? Because it sounded like a deeper voiced guy was on that phone.
Well, he also had no, like, oh my gosh, I'm so sad.
Yeah, it was kind of more professional. And
yeah.
But the 37th Dolan says that Dolan 36 has passed away. I'm sorry for your loss. And then we see Calder in the initiation ceremony for Dolan the 37th.
Which I'm already curious. Is it normal for the Dolan to retire, to die, and the 37th to get initiated
Just retire. They don't have to die.
Yeah.
The 37th being initiated into the Cross and Shield group after Axe and Shield. After the ceremony, 37 finds Calder and kind of introduces himself to him and tells him that they've met before.
A long time ago.
Well, Calder starts telling him about a gravestone.
Yeah, you see that rock over there?
He said he was there when they laid that gravestone in there about 100 years ago.
That was a long time ago.
And then he talks about the mass grave that they discovered 60 feet below the ground.
And what they did with that.
And you know what they did with that? They filled the hole and kept on building.
Mm-hmm.
He just kept interrupting him.
The 37
is kind of annoying.
Tells him.
I mean, that sounds a little kind of productive on it.
It sounds familiar. The 37 Dolan tells him that he has to change his identity now because of the updated technology like CCTV, geo-tracking, all that stuff.
Seems smart.
Social media.
Yep. And Calder says, and he's like, where are you going? And he's like, I've seen people get old, retire, and die, but rarely on the same day. So they visit Dolan 36's house or apartment building.
Pause. You missed the whole him owning a fancy ass car.
McLaren?
Yeah, he was walking up to this fancy car, and of course they had to show it.
Yeah, because he was like, you need to be incognito or something like that, and he's like, bam.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't gonna hide in that.
It was a Genesis, wasn't it? Or was it Aston Martin?
All I know is it was a fancy ass car. How much was he getting paid?
If you 800 years old, you better be a trillionaire, bro.
Man, bro.
You would hope.
Putting money in the account and just interest. But they go to the 36 apartment building and search for magic. He doesn't find any signs of magic after he blows his hot ass breath all over the window. And they start to exit when Calder sees something on the floor. 3 dead flies.
He's like, what? 1 is fine, 2 is coincidence, 3 is a problem.
Mm-hmm. And as they discover it, the ground starts to shake. The woods from the floor starts breaking and rising up, and the glass breaks, and he tells him to get down.
I wonder if anybody else in that apartment felt the same thing.
And he dives to shield him from the breaking glass. But it was like simple, like little shards of glass, not like sharp. It was like pieces, like,
just
small
the window
pieces.
broken.
Yeah, but it wasn't like sharp shards of blades of glass. I feel like he would have just been like covered his face up and he'd have been okay.
I mean, he's immortal anyway, so it wouldn't have hurt him. Why the fuck did he?
Well, he dove to protect the 37th.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just didn't seem like that big of a threat.
I just know that glass is pretty dangerous because I had one stuck in my thigh when I got in my wreck.
Okay, well then never mind. I guess it is pretty dangerous. Yeah. We don't want that stuck in his thigh.
Well, and also my thing is that would the Axe and Cross not do an investigation on their own?
I don't know. Maybe this was their investigation, but they end up seeing that the whole place was under a
curse.
Yeah, it wasn't really called though. A glamour. It was under a glamour. I learned that today by reading this book.
The fuck is a glamour?
Everything's glamoured up.
Oh, you talking about?
It's like a magic spell to make you see some shit. But it was under like this magic disguise, and he finds this root that he believes he knows the source of.
And a nest.
He says it's dark magic. It's beyond evil. And then?
With it being witches, and Dolan 37 was talking about how, like, this is a, what's the word? A act against the church. I would have automatically went to Dolan to 36 and made sure that he was truly dead and not just cursed or seen anything.
Well, I would have went straight to Jesus. But he sees this little Bible or book or something and sees a bloody thumbprint in there.
Death.
Yeah, and it's on death. So he
It wasn't his Bible. It was the book that Dolan 36 was writing in about
Calder's
Calder.
history.
Yep.
Well, Calder turns around at 37th and he says, "Let me see your hands." He grasps his hand and sees that he's been burned. After the 37 tells him he was 5 years old when witches attacked his parents, which they died, and that's when Calder saved him. On a second-story window, he wrapped him up in a blanket, and the 37th said, "I told you that we had met before." And Calder says, "Yeah, I remember." 37 said that he has waited his whole life to work with him. And Calder says, "Well, help me find the witches that did this." And then they arrive at a new location, like some kind of bakery. And as they're getting out of the car, 37 says, "Shouldn't I have a gun or something?" And Calder says, "Take a deep breath. Center yourself." As they're walking into this bakery, one of the hostesses asks, "Would you like a free sample?" And gives the 37th one.
Hold on, you bypassed the fact that Calder was saying that they're going to see Max, and he is level 14 wizard.
How high the levels go?
I don't know.
Maybe 20?
Yeah, they never explained that yet.
No, and literally the rest of the movie, nothing was ever said about levels at all.
Well, he's about to eat that little free sample right there until he looks at it, and Calder says, I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't eat that.
And it turns out that the whole place is run by magic, and they're actually putting like maggots and just nasty stuff. Yeah.
Beetles and shit.
Stuff that's safe to eat, but just really disgusting into people's pastries.
I mean, those guys could be witches that's eating that stuff.
That's true, and they could enjoy it.
Yeah.
But they're really fooling the customers.
Yeah, they're also
human
giving
customers.
it to humans. Yeah.
Yeah, and so they end up finding Max, who is this black guy who's actually blind, it seems.
Whole bunch of butterflies around him.
Yeah, he tries to get away through this shield of butterflies.
Hold on. Are these butterflies his sightseeing butterflies?
Maybe. Why is that so funny?
I don't know. And they're fucking butterflies.
Well, Calder...
I'm just thinking like...
Calder opens up a jar and they all go inside.
How did they get the butterflies in there?
It's a magic jar.
Magic. He's not magic. Calder is not magic. He has no magic.
But the jar is magic.
Yeah, but he has magic tools. Calder holds up the root, and the blind man Max, I guess, can smell it or sense it. And he says, "It's Gribbin's happen. Hippin. It's a necromancy, dark magic." And he tells Calder, "You know I don't deal in that." He says that anybody that can use this herb is not afraid of you. Talking about Calder. And that scares him. He tells Calder that the guy that came to visit him smells of garlic, but it's not garlic. It's like molding.
Calder automatically.
Cranberries.
Arsenic.
Calder says, "Thanks, Max." And they leave. As they get in the car, the 37 says, all that made sense to you? And Calder says, "Yeah. Whoever killed Dolan is likely living in a funeral home. Just have to find out one
that has the crab apples,
tree.
Molded crab apple trees.
Mm-hmm. So Calder offers some money to the 37th, and he says, "What's that for?" He says, "It's for a cab, because you're not authorized for what's next."
How did he just automatically jump like that? He could have smelled a whiff of garlic. He could have had Italian for lunch or something. Like, why did he just automatically jump to arsenic and jump to a funeral?
I mean, there's a blind guy that's smelling a magic blind guy. Okay, he could be pretty.
But he said
accurate.
garlic. He said garlic, and then Calder said it's arsenic. The blind guy said nothing about arsenic. I don't know. I feel like they could have done something a little different.
Calder's probably more experienced. But then we see a kid get off a school bus, and as he's on his way home by walking to the sidewalk, he sees these gummy bears.
This is so stupid.
And I'm talking about these big, juicy, colorful gummy bears.
You motherfuckers are huge, bro.
And he follows them through this alley all the way to like this hidden area in the back where this beautiful gummy bear tree is. They look so great and tasty and sweet.
God, this kid is stupid.
Yeah, I don't get it. I
like
would
this
never
beautiful
done that.
garden.
So stupid.
And as he's collecting these gummy bears, Calder ends up touching the kid on the shoulder, and that's when the images fade and reality hits. He's been picking up these old nasty crab apples.
I'm curious, though, what would they have done once they captured the child?
Made him eat crab apples. It's just terrible.
Well, I mean, are they going to kill him? Are they going to use him for a spell?
Well, as we know from our true stories I was saying earlier from Panda Tales, witches do kill kids for immortality to suck the rejuvenation out of them, But the gummy bears was just an image that gone away, and now he sees he's been messing with bad crab apples, and Calder's like, your mama tell you to go to the dark alleys?
Did your mama tell you not to go into dark alleys?
I feel like the kid's old enough not to know not to follow a gummy bear trail.
Kid's like 11 or 12, bro. He know that shit.
Yeah.
Bro, them gummy bears look so juicy. Let me tell you something. The witch would have got me. Okay, the witch would have got me. I would have bit the shit out of that first one I seen, bro. I just playing. I ain't picking shit up off the ground.
Yeah, dirty New York.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, why would you pick one from the tree and then look down? Oh, these ones on the ground. Perfect. Ants and fucking beetles and shit been crawling over them.
Well, the building where he believes the witch is, or the spell has been cast, as that's where Calder goes. And this person is watching him the whole time. And Calder goes into the building and he sees a small child running. And he notices all of the witch artifacts hanging from the ceiling. And then he finds the small child. He goes to comfort her when it turns out to be a male witch who had the image on. And it tries to stab Calder, and it actually does through his hand. And this is the part where we see that Calder is not only immortal, but he can heal. Mm-hmm. Just being immortal, you can live forever, okay, but that don't mean you have the ability to heal.
Yeah.
So he takes that knife out of his hand, it heals up, and then he throws the knife at this witch, and it sticks him right in the calf, gets him on the ground, and Calder don't play no games.
So I wonder if this whole process would happen if he was to drown. Would he still be alive?
That's true. He might grow gills.
No,
that's why he can beat the Tinagami.
No, I think he would still die, but he would come back to life and then
drown again.
I'm assuming he would float. If he's not being held down, he would not sink. He would float.
Well, he proceeds to beat the shit out of this witch, and he asks him, "Why'd you kill the Dolan?" And the guy says, "Who the hell's that Dolan?" And I think this is the vampire from Preacher. The Irish guy, the Irish vampire. But Calder ends up knocking him out and takes him away.
Well, he found the pen, too. The 36 Dolan's pen. But after taking this guy, you knocked him out. I would have searched the whole entire building from
of course
basement to the top.
Yeah, because why would you take him in? Why would you take this guy in and not search the apartment and automatically be like, I think he took him to the witches' council and he's like, well, I think he had help, but you didn't check the fucking
search. Yeah.
Come on now.
Well, see, I was thinking this relationship, this movie was like the Men in Black, but then after seeing this scene, I was thinking it's more like Blade, like it's just a 2-man operation. Even though they have the witches' council, I don't think there's that many people on this. And they're just playing it as they go. They don't have a setup scene. Like the Men in Black would, they'd come and decontaminate the whole area.
Investigate.
Yeah, and do
go
the thing.
Further with it.
But it's just 10 people in this group. The Dolans, the council, and Calder.
I thought it was a whole church.
Man.
Axe and Cross.
I think it is a whole
church.
You got the janitor, you got the preacher.
They trying to fucking keep all the
nuns.
Money. Gotta keep all the money.
You gotta keep the offerings. Anyway, the next scene we see the 37th, and Calder has brought the witch to him. And the witch says that he looks tasty, talking about 37th. And the 37 looks at Calder and says, please don't think less of me. And he punches the witch in the stomach. Mm-hmm. The 37 escorts the witch down into the basement area of the church, where I guess is a holding cell.
Which to me, this
for
is
evil witches.
Stupid, because in my opinion, they should have had so cool. Dolan 37th goes down with him. Fine, whatever. But Calder should have been the one to bring him down. You don't, he's obviously a witch hunter. He was able to hold his own against this witch. You don't know what the Dolan 37th, if he's able to fight or what if he's able to handle this guy. And also, Calder should have been able to testify and give his opinion.
So my question is these handcuffs that he's in able to like stop him from saying spells? Like,
yeah, they're made of sea prism stone.
Shut the hell up. No, I'm saying somebody can just, because witches, they speak their incantations, so he can speak something, confuse the 37th, get the fuck out of there.
Yep.
Well, I've seen a lot of this in this world. A lot of their magic, it does have incantations, but it requires something, some kind of alchemy with it. Oh, okay. So it's mostly science, where we're...
Well, I don't know. The bad guy, the bearded black... not bearded black guy. The bearded big guy, he speaks incantations, but he don't have anything to throw out.
But he might be a higher level. You don't know what level this dude's at.
It's true. We all got levels.
Yeah.
That has yet been explained or ever explained.
Come on, man.
Well, they bring the witch to the council. And here, they determine that the witch is guilty of the crime of killing Dolan.
Didn't even ask him questions. Didn't investigate. Didn't do nothing.
Well, they found the evidence in the place where the witch was staying.
A pen.
And the witch says he doesn't abide by their laws. And they tell him the laws are there to control and restrict magic. And then they call Dorshals up.
No. So they ended up, the main witch, she ended up doing these cards.
Yeah, she says, we're going to judge him without an interrogation.
Yep. And then what have the cards said? But then that's when Calder came in, like, okay.
Has anybody asked him who he's working with?
Right. There's none of these cards state that he's working with someone.
And the council says that we can see that he's guilty of this, and that Calder says that the cards are wrong and he can shapeshift. And Calder says he hasn't seen that in like 800 years since the Witch Queen was alive or something. And the council says that the Witch Queen is dead and it's impossible. And she began some kind of spell or incantation which brings her necklace to life. And it crawls off into this wood structure which turns into this giant fighter wicker man that they call the Sentinel. And it just sucks the dang witch in, and I guess it takes him to his prison.
Which I'm a little confused on this. Like, the Witch Council, obviously they're higher up. They must be high levels, whatever. They earned their position in the Witch Council. But Calder's been alive for, 830 years? Because I'm assuming he's like 30-something years old, and he's been alive for over 800 years. Why? To me, they were acting like he's just like a no one and just someone that just does their grunt work instead of taking his advice or his opinion or anything.
But the people on the Witch Council are the actual witches?
I would assume so. It's a witch council.
So, like, every witch in this world doesn't like him anyway. So, like, how did he get...
Everyone.
A lot of people don't like this guy. all of the witches don't like this guy because everywhere he goes...
He's supposed to be killing witches and, like, bringing them back to jail. But so far up to this point in time, the only person that he seems forgiving... Like with that witch on the plane. Yeah. He didn't take her in. He just kind of like reprimanded her and went on about the day.
Why the hell are they scared of him?
It's only witches that break the rules. Don't use magic against humans.
Right. So I don't get why he's just like, oh, he's such a terrible guy. I don't know. It seemed weird to me.
Well, the little pin that he brought in ended up splitting into two while this witch is being taken away. But before he leaves, Calder leaves the room and he snatches a fly off of the council lady's shoulder.
Which she flinched.
And then, he thought she about to get backhanded or something. And then he goes to a different room with a casket. He's heats up a nail which has little hieroglyphs and sigils on it.
Sorry.
He sparks this candle, but he pushed the candle up to the 36th Dolan's mouth. He says he's still alive, but barely. He's been cursed. And Calder says that they wanted to interrogate him, and he catches a fly that was in his neck. It was crawling around in his neck.
Like a neck.
He takes a fly out of 36 Dolan's neck, and his color starts to return to him. Oh, no, it starts to fade at this point.
Yep, and had that same sigil, that witch sigil.
Sigil.
Ooh, my bad. My other thing is...
Steven Sigil.
That's a sigil for you.
I just don't understand. I feel like if I was the witch council or anything to do with Axe and Cross, if any Dolan died, I would have done like a whole bunch of investigation. They're supposed to be witches, correct? Why do they not already know this? Why was it Calder was the one that knew exactly what fly this was, the plague fly, and the only one. He's the only one.
It's called a witch wasp.
Mm-hmm. Witch wasp. he gets up and he says that he won't wake up unless he kills the witch who cast the curse. And that's when Calder notices Dolan the 36's thumb was cut, and he goes back to the book where he found with that bloody thumbprint.
So he thought somebody else was highlighting.
Yeah, just grabbing the shit, but it turned out to be Dolan 36
trying to give him a message.
And he flips through the book to find out what other words that have been marked, and he finds the words all with the blood prints, and they say, "Remember your death." And he says there's only one way to remember his death, and that's with magic. So next we see a nice little nightclub or bar where a woman is serving drinks, and it looks to be magical because one of the drinks is like fizzing and sparkling with some kind of crazy blue light.
It looked like a lotus flower on top of one too.
Yeah, but she's serving up the drinks, so she's like a waitress or something, bartender, and make sure everybody's having a good time. They can sense the Calder is coming because a lot of the help starts to leave.
Well, the way that they noticed or sensed him, which I don't know, you see him have his hand with the ring walking down the banister, like have his hand on the banister. Was that a signal? Like, how did the witches get that vibe?
I think if his ring comes into contact with anything that's witchy, it like glows, it makes some sound. I don't know.
Okay, because it wasn't glowing in that scene. Because obviously the plane time it did glow, but this scene it did not.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, they're all scared of what Calder will do.
Yep. So they all dip.
She says they're up to code, and they had nothing to be scared of.
Not serving any humans.
Yeah, and he asks, how much do you charge to buy a memory? And she says 50 first, and then it goes, and when she says okay, it goes up to, did I say 50? I meant 500. And he was like, okay, let's get started. And then he's like, I meant 5,000. And he says, sold. And she said, did I say 5,000? I meant 50. And he said, shall we start? So he got money.
She went up to what, 50,000?
Yeah, 50,000. I said, shall we start? Like
well, you said 50.
No, I said 50. Went from 50 to 500 to 5,000 to 50,000.
No, you didn't say 1,000. You said 50.
Yeah, we went through the whole thing.
You said 50 first.
Tab this. You gonna hear it. You did not say 50,000.
Mark at it right there.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna cut it out, and then we're gonna play it again so that people can hear it. And play it right here. Did I say 5,000? I meant 50,000. And he said, "Shall we start?" And now we heard that I said 50,000.
Okay, in your face.
No, you didn't say it.
Oh, yeah. Now you made me lose my place below 50,000. Yeah, dang.
Well, it didn't make sense.
You don't make sense.
Because he said, let's get started, like sold. Well, also, before that part, she was cleaning the cups up, and he lifted it and smelled it, and he was like, that's a fear potion.
Right there.
What do you have to fear? And then also, I don't get it. If he got money, why not sell him the damn memory potion? Why is she just like so adamant about not selling him something?
I mean, he's probably got a bad reputation killing witches. They're probably, it's just like Blade. If you're a vampire, Blade fucks vampires up. I mean, though he does leave some alive to help him find others, Blade's dangerous.
I don't know.
There's a part coming up where, the fashion show where the lady was like, you're a disgrace to all witches because she's working with them. So,
yeah, it's a bad thing to be with him.
If someone's about to pay me $50,000 for a memory potion,
Bro,
you best believe I'm getting paid $50,000 fucking dollars.
Hey, I'm giving it to you. You go somewhere else to take this shit. I don't want nobody to see you falling asleep, bro.
Well, she tells him unless somebody's gonna put a gun to her head, he needs to get out. And he says, I'm not leaving because he needs that memory. And she asks, what do you need the memory potion for? Are you hunting a witch? And he says, I'm helping an old friend. So she ends up making the potion. She says that if you get injured in the memory, you will get injured out here. And if you die in the memory, you die out here.
I can't die.
And she gives him this cherry that's infused with the memory potion. And it looks like he just swallows the whole goddamn thing with no gag reflex. And he just lays back, and she thinks he's knocked out. So she gets in there and takes a little selfie and says, say, witch hunter. And he says, witch hunter. And I was like, oh, shit. And he scared the shit out of her.
Why did your Vin Diesel kind of sound slow, like
Man,
retarded?
I don't know, man. My Vin Diesel sounds like Stallone, bro. I don't know what's going on. But Calder shows her that he didn't swallow the cherry, so we thought he didn't have GI reflex. So, he's still good. He don't be eating these big glizzies all the time. But then he proceeds to swallow this motherfucker without any gag reflex. Like, God dang, chew it. It's a cherry.
Well, he said before, he's like, be nice. Mm-hmm. Well,
yeah, be nice.
My thought is, how did he know that was going to happen? After I'm assuming this is the first time that he's taken a memory potion thing. So how did he know he's going to fall asleep? If he knew he was going to fall asleep, I would have taken that shit as Calder. I would have taken that to a safe and secure place and made sure I was safe.
But if you're Calder, you're wishing for death, and you wish somebody would come slit your throat, even though if it did slit your throat, it wouldn't work, and you would still be alive.
Well, he seems to be enjoying his life, fucking all these stewardesses.
It starts. Hey, humans. People have needs. Okay. The show starts, and he goes deep into his memory of his family. The potion takes him back to the giant tree where he was, where he had stabbed the witch, and he sees his body all burnt into embers, and he sees the witch's remains, and you can hear someone calling, "Calder, Calder!" And it's a bearded man saying, "Wake up." It was the witch that had cast the spell of the cherries that had stabbed something in Calder's neck. I don't know what the fuck that means. But it was the bearded man who woke him up from the memory spell, and he had injected Calder with something in his neck. With some kind of syringe.
Dude, you think that the world's famous witch hunter knows that he's getting tracked by somebody? You would think that, right?
You would think, maybe.
Well,
also, I'm curious on how this memory potion works, because it took a few minutes to even get to the tree, the magic tree, get inside, seen his burnt. So I'm curious to know how it would, is it something like, I want to see my death, remember my death? Why didn't it just automatically take him to see his death? Why did it have to go see, they seen the people walk in and then go into the tree? That seems...
It's got to be a little timeline on there.
Things don't always work how you want them to work, okay? You can't just instantly teleport somewhere. You got to take a plane to get there, okay?
It's magic. But also, where was this lady at?
Everything has limitations.
Where's the lady at? Was she just hidden the whole entire time? Did he, pop into?
She didn't sit there and watch him. She went to the back to watch TV or something. She went to go make a drink, prepare for tomorrow. I don't know. It don't matter. How important is that? Does that break the logic of the movie for you?
No,
Where
it doesn't
was she at?
break, but it doesn't make sense because he literally got injected. He was handcuffed to the thing, and she was hidden, and he was breaking into stuff.
She hears somebody come inside of her restaurant, which the restaurant is already closed anyway. She thinks it is bad news, so she starts to hide. That's what she was.
And when Calder wakes up, he realizes that he is chained to the floor. And Calder tries to free himself by grabbing one of the support beams of the place and breaking his own hand to get out. And as his hand re-heals, all freaky-like, he tries to attack the witch. And Calder says that you cursed my friend. And he says, your friend lasted 5 minutes longer than most. And he punches Calder when he does. It sends him back into the memory state. The witch then goes over to the bar looking for any more memory potion, and he says, no more memory potion for you. And he does some kind of chant, and then he puts his hand up as if to blow a kiss, and he blows this fire all across the bar. And Chloe, the witch who is helping him, is putting together some kind of potion. She gets over there to Calder, and he grabs her by the throat, thinking that, because he's in the memory, in between the memory state and reality, thinking she is the witch, but she's able to end up talking him out of it, and she ends up blowing something in his face to snap him back into reality. While the main villain witch is being wrapped up in vines, and I guess this is their way of teleporting, which looks painful and terrible.
Well, it seems to take too long.
Yeah, and because Calder's able to grab him.
Also, I'm a little confused because the bad witch was just like, no more bar, no more memory potion for you. Is this the only witch bar in this city?
Probably.
It can't be.
It can't be. There's got to be. There was so many witches in that bar drinking. You telling me that they...
If there's one in Abu Dhabi, there's a couple in New York City.
They would have to.
A couple. But you know how big New York is?
Not just two.
Listen, bro, a couple.
There's got gotta be a lot.
And it's dangerous for them to all gather together.
New York is close to New Jersey. Motherfucker, go to New Jersey and do that shit.
I relate this to Blade. Okay, vampires are reluctant to get together because if they do get together, it's called too much ruckus.
They didn't look reluctant.
You know who's going to show up.
There was a lot of witches in that bar.
But it's like a rare event, just like in Blade 1. And I relate this to Blade because this is the storyline of Blade. It's just witches instead. But in Blade 1, all those vampires are getting together, having a nightclub dance, and they got too loud and ruckus, and guess who shows up to fuck your party up? Motherfucking Blade.
But these witches are domesticated, so I would put it on par with what's that one we all hate? Twilight. I'll put these as vampires from Twilight.
No, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Listen, Blade will fuck them up.
And also, the whole entire time that the bad witch was fighting Calder, does Calder not carry weapons? I feel like even though I'm immortal and can heal, I would still, like, he's obviously a badass fighter. I would still carry weapons.
That's true. We need some hidden blades there.
And also, how does the bad witch know what Calder's looking for? He just automatically is like, walks in there, knows that it's a memory. He knows that he's going to try to remember his death. How does he know this stuff?
Calder ends up getting grabbed.
Do y'all know?
I mean, he's a witch, man. It's magic, bro. And if they got magic where you take you into a memory, they got magic where they can read your mind, okay? Mm-hmm. Or magic where you can see 2 steps into the future. I don't know. But Calder ends up grabbing the guy before he can teleport, trying to grab him at least, but it's kind of too late, and he ends up teleporting out of there. Chloe turns around after seeing her bar burned, and she's like, "You're a monster. This place is all I ever had."
Why is she blaming him?
Is it really? Yeah, is it really his fault? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, he came in there and got the potion.
He was in a dreamlike state. I don't know why it's his fault.
It's not. Like, yes, he's there, and the bad witch went there for him. But it's not like Calder burnt down her bar. I think that's stupid. Why are you... I get it. She's upset. But also, like...
Well, stupid. If he wasn't there, then her bar wouldn't have been...
Burned down. Well, I guess the teleportation thing doesn't work too well because he only teleported across the street into an alley so he can look over and see it burn down. Well, I guess it's later that night, and Chloe's about to have a drink, and her nice-ass, like, vintage apartment, like a whole apartment or something. This thing is nice, man. It's
like a big as hell.
Yeah, rent's got to be crazy.
Man.
And
she did magical spell to not pay rent.
That's true. Fake money. Mm-hmm. And she hears whispering. So she goes and turns on all the lights and doesn't see anything. And then she grabs, immediately after she didn't see anything, she's like, okay, I'll just make a pot of coffee. She pours into the cup and the lights start getting brighter and they end up bursting. All the light bulbs going out and Chloe's left in the dark. So she opens up the fridge for more light. So I'm guessing as long as there's light in there, no one can come in. No one can magic themselves in as long as there's light in there. But the fridge doors closes. And she ends up getting grabbed by those teleporting little vines things that the evil witch was using. And she tries to get away, but they end up pulling her into the wall. And she starts seeing visions of like monsters that, look like her at first, but then they turn into like this tree vine monster. And it looks like something's about to eat her when you hear Calder says, grab my hand. Mm-hmm. And he ends up pulling her out.
Well, you kind of see some light, too, when she's getting teleported. And with a little face, you see like a light, like a blinding light. And then he grabbed her. But it's like, when he pulls her through, there's no light. So it's like, where the fuck did she come from?
Well, she wakes up in a room in a nice little bed. And she starts walking around the house that she's in. And she sees she's in Calder's house, I guess, and the 37th. Because both of them are doing research on this computer.
So did that actually happen? Or was that just her dream?
Well, she's there.
Yeah. Must have actually happened.
I mean,
she didn't get dick down on that, so Calder saved her, and I guess she's knocked out.
I was about to say, did she knock out from there? Because she acted like she didn't know where she was at and all that stuff.
Had to have.
Well, she goes in there and she says, "Why are you doing all this?" Or she says something like, "We're the same. Why are you hunting us down? We're the same." And he's like, "We're not the same. You may look like us, but you're not. You have magic.
And you're bad," or something like that.
And she tells him that her bar was everything she cared about. And she blames him for destroying her life. And Calder says, "I don't like it any more than you do. But what if you help me? I promise to keep you safe." So Calder promises to keep her safe as long as she helps him. And she says what ingredients she'll need to mix another memory potion. And Calder says that the guy who teleporter had red soil on his jacket. He wants 37 to analyze it. So Calder leaves with Chloe to go and get the ingredients, and as they open the door to this place where the ingredients are, a cat scares her, and she jumps into Calder's arms. So there was like this little moment there, a little weird moment there.
You're my family now.
Once you jump in my arms, we're family. And they get into a GTO and they drive on. But they end up looking around for the ingredients, and she's wondering, why do people know about M?
So she had her phone on something, and a chat came up with something about the witch hunter forum. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. He was talking about that, and she just went all like, everybody just thinks that witches are bad, and we're green and pointy hats and ride a broom, blah 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 blah.
And then about Salem, and then he says those women were innocent.
And she's like, well, what if it was me? Something along those
Nobody
lines.
would care. He's like,
I would care.
I would care.
Yeah. And as Chloe is saying this, she says that the hackweed is gone and someone's taken it. And that's when Calder notices her friend's dead body,
Miranda.
And then her phone rings.
With Miranda calling.
But it's Belial, the bearded witch. And he says that her friend died badly, screaming alone. Just like he will. And Chloe says, you're going to get the man who did this. And then she says she doesn't know where else to get the ingredients. And Calder says, I know one place, but it's old money and old magic. And he hugged Chloe until and it says that's all, everything's going to be all right. But it's kind of weird how fast she warmed up to him. You know?
Yeah.
It was weird. Like, their interaction is weird. Just snapping on each other, kind of weird.
It all started when that cat scared her. And she knew that she's safe in his arms.
I don't know. It's kind of weird. And then also with the whole, she's just like, I don't know where else to get it. It's fucking New York City. You telling me that there's only one place she knows?
I'm telling you, there's not that many witches places around here. Y'all think it's just like...
There's a fucking witch council. There is a witch council. There is many, many witches. And this is New York City. It's New York City. Come on now. This cannot be one place.
Makes sense. Just because it's New York City, it doesn't mean there's a lot of witches there. Why does that make sense to you?
No. There's got to be. You can't just have just one place that has all of the ingredients that these witches need. There's got to be at least a couple places.
Now, I'm going back to the blade card. Because if the witch's primary food source were humans, then I'd be like, okay, there's a lot of witches here. But witches are more likely to be in rural areas, like in the fucking country somewhere, by themselves, casting spells, doing their stuff, minding their business, if they don't want to be hunted by Calder. But vampires, on the other hand, their food sources is people, so they're going to be around a lot of people. So New York makes sense. Chicago makes sense. You know what don't make sense? Louisiana. Why was Blade 1 in Louisiana?
Exactly.
Why does it make sense? Don't know what's going on, man.
Yeah, but the only reason Calder goes after any of the witches are if they're bad. So if all these witches, if they're not doing any bad spells, he's not coming after them. So they're just normal fucking people living their normal lives. They just got magical powers.
Yeah, and what if they make a mistake like the lady on the plane?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, then he set them free. She set her free.
But if the witch council finds out about them, they're dead.
No, they're not dead.
They're trapped in a room with other powerful witches where they're able to communicate and make an even powerful coven. So they're going to this real fancy like house party, maybe where
it's a fashion show.
Yeah, it's a fashion show.
Oh well, they was having a house party kind of vibe. Shit, they was drinking, chilling, having good times. But we see a bunch of like witches, I guess, because the most people that they go to this like dressing room and everybody's putting like these illusions on, while Chloe can see
they got some fucked up faces.
Yeah, that they're all kind of deformed and stuff. So they're casting spells on themselves because they're all scarred for some reason. I guess they're like immortals, maybe.
No, that's how witches look whenever they start getting old.
I guess so. Whatever. But they look like regular humans to humans. It's kind of like maybe I shouldn't say that. I'll say like the trans people.
No.
Put it in it.
No.
They put the disguise on, man. They'll fool a guy or two. I tell you what. Until you get home and that magic wears off, and you see that big old dick.
Yeah, no, don't put that in there. Good Lord.
Explicit.
Well, they're going.
And canceled.
They're casting because more of them are scarred, like I was saying, and then they look like regular humans to humans. But he goes in and he kisses this lady's hand, and he asks her, "What does he owe her?" And you know why he's here. And she keeps going blowing smoke in his face
and a hookah type of thing.
Yeah. And they bring the ingredients.
So disrespectful.
And Chloe gets them. They give them to Chloe. And when she notices something wrong with it...
he's already trapped. But how is your mind not resistant to anything which is due? If you've been around for 800 years, there's something you can do. At least by saying the Lord's Prayer or something to make sure that they don't...
Or knowing the smell of the smoke. Well, I don't get... Is she a higher level than Chloe? Because how is she able to use the exact same plant that Chloe used... But she's smoking it into Calder's face, and then Calder is able to get his memories. But then for Chloe, she had to break it down, add another ingredient, put it in a cherry, injected it in a cherry, and then given it to him. So is there different levels?
I don't think this is a
because he had flashback. He had flashback memories.
Yeah, but this is not that type, right?
We'll get to that. Calder ends up seeing his wife in the room and his daughter.
You're here.
I'm here. Turns out his wife was a man. Listen, after Chloe's like panicked, she's like, something's wrong with these ingredients, and she turns to Calder, and Calder looks back and he sees his wife sitting in the chair, and he ends up in this memory state, but he snapped back to like his family time, just having a good time with his family, and they begin to hold Chloe down as he's in this memory, and Chloe comes and tries to wake him up from within the dream. She ends up kicking his ass in the chest, and he goes through a table in the memory. He gets up, and his wife is there. But Chloe appears again, telling him, you need to wake up. We're going to die. And she ends up stabbing him in the stomach in the memory or dream. And he finally wakes up. And this time, he wakes up kicking ass. Because when he wakes up, he's being carried off by 2 security guards, which one of them happens to be an Olympic gold medalist, Kurt Angle. Yeah, that it was just a random as shit. Kurt Angle's in this movie. It's so weird.
Yeah, it took me a second. I was like, wait. What?
Yes. And he quickly dispatches them and unfreezes Chloe.
Unfreezes Chloe?
Freeze her.
Freezer. Yeah. Freeze her. It said it freeze, like freezes.
Yeah.
So he frees her.
Freeze up.
Yeah, freeze her from
it took me that long. Oh my god.
It frees her from her captors.
The whole time I'm looking back, I'm trying to remember, was this bitch frozen? And he had to unfreeze her. I know my memory's bad, but I was like, damn.
Well, the witch had put him in a memory. He goes up to her and he grabs this little crystal thing from her. And she tells him everything she knows because that crystal thing is important. And he puts the crystal down into this drink, and Chloe ends up grabbing it real fast. And she says that you're a traitor to your own kind. And she takes that crystal, drops it on the ground, and crushes it.
Steps on like a fucking boss.
And as she does, the illusion that held this lady's face together, her beauty, fades away.
That's CGI on her teeth.
She becomes this nasty, old, dry witch.
Awesome.
And she's like, you bitch.
It was kind of stupid. He left her alive. Calder and Chloe left. He left all those people alive. For me, he heard her say, we're going to take him to Bilali, whatever the guy bad witch name is.
Balil.
Yeah, I would have killed them all. Like, that is obviously a bad witch who is trying to bring back the dark witch. So I would have killed him.
Well, later on, Chloe assumes that Calder knows, and he says, yeah, you're a dream walker. And she said she spent her entire life trying to hide it from people. And he says, why? And she says it was a brave thing to do to pull me out of that trap. He grabs her hand and they leave. So what's up with all this, intimacy here?
They're falling in love.
Well, we didn't see Max leaving his nasty ass bakery.
Oops, sorry. Does Helena look like Chloe to y'all?
No.
No? Did Helena, his wife, original wife, look like Chloe? I don't know. When I was looking at both of them, I was like, is that the same actor?
No, I don't think so. But we end up seeing Max leaving his nasty ass bakery, and he can sense something in the darkness. That's when Belial shows up behind him and takes his glasses and tells him he's a disgrace. And Belial says that we have plans for a traitor. And he does some kind of incantation, and all we hear is Max scream, and he walks off into the darkness.
Yeah, you see his butterflies and shit flying out. Where the fuck did he go? He must have got teleported by those damn tentacles.
And the dog.
It's like, why would you scream then? Because apparently it didn't hurt nobody else.
And then in the basement of the church where the witch's council is, Calder has brought Chloe there to show her...
Is that where it was at?
Yeah, he shows her the history of the witch. And he tells her that the dream workers would make your wildest dreams come true and then twist them into nightmares.
See, they were the strongest witches
They were
back in the day.
They were the Witch Queen's deadliest assassins. And he tells Chloe that she's the only one that can help him. She tells him about her brother and how she accidentally hurt him with her powers.
How can you hurt someone? If you're in... she's just in the memory, right? Or she's just in the mind?
Well, this type of thing, right?
She explained earlier that she's got Freddy Krueger powers. So if you hurt in the dream, you hurt in real life. If you die in the dream, you die in real life.
Oh, so she just, I don't know.
She didn't know her power back in the day. That's why she hurt her brother.
Gotcha.
And he just tells her to find a word that reminds her of him and to focus on that one word, and they both will focus on it.
It was stupid because she didn't agree to do it.
Yeah, they didn't say a word.
Well, she says alone.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and she places her hand on his head, and she places her hand on his heart. And he starts to go back
family
into the memories. He discovers in his memory that they found the witch queen's heart. And if they had destroyed it...
Did you notice that when the guys, like the priest and the guys walked in, Cole ended up moving his hand in front of Chloe and like pushed her back so they can walk through? They're in the memory, right? They can't...
Well, they don't have enough CGI to make people look like they're passing through somebody.
They ran out the budget, didn't they?
I mean, it was what, 94 million? Like
that would have cost around 100 million.
Couldn't afford it. Yeah, damn. Well, yeah, they end up finding the witch queen's heart in the memory.
You say witch?
Witch. Witch queen heart in the memory. And if they destroyed it, they could have destroyed her. But the first Dolan kept the heart. And this is why they tortured his friend, because he knows where the heart is. 36 Dolan. And they're going to bring back the Witch Queen.
Well, you missed the explanation on that the priest, the first Dolan, ended up piercing the witch's queen heart. Calder was screaming like mad, and then he ended up putting the heart over the fire. Calder screamed further, and then all the guys were like, kill the heart, like destroy the heart. And then he just like slowly took it off the knife and put it in his pocket. And everybody's like, the witch queen is dead, while Calder is still alive. Like, they didn't...
Okay.
They seen all of that.
He did it to save Calder.
Use him as a damn weapon.
Meanwhile, we see that Belial is preparing Max for some incantation or ritual, and Calder goes to the 37th and says, you lied to me, and you knew what this meant all along. And Calder tells that they're bringing back the Witch Queen, and you don't know what you've done. And the 37th says he swore an oath to keep it secret. They say the reason they haven't destroyed the heart was that, well, they were scared that Calder would lose his immortality. He says that the 36th thought the night that he was attacked that he was going to actually destroy the heart for Calder.
Which is stupid.
To set him free.
In my opinion, because he doesn't know if destroying the heart would have killed Calder. Like, in my opinion, I would have, if I was Dolan 36, I would have just given the information to Calder. Hey, Dolan the First, seen this, you were screaming, we ended up saving the heart because we thought that you would die along if we destroy the heart. We wanted to use it as a weapon. Here's all the information. Do with it as you will. Not just automatically destroy the heart.
Well, back at the ritual site, Belial has the heart, and he says, you will serve the queen, telling it to Max. And he chants something and buries the heart at Max's feet. And then these roots start to grow immediately and grab a hold of Max.
What was that dirt?
It was burial dirt.
What's burial dirt? Like, is it?
I guess it was used to bury somebody else.
Maybe
and he just dug up some of it.
I don't know. I feel like it was for someone specific. It had to be someone specific because he ain't just gonna go to a random ass grave and dig up the dirt and get the burial.
That's
no,
I
think there was for something specific.
Burial dirt, go cemetery, get burial dirt.
But I think they're missing a scene. Like Belial.
Belial.
Belial. So
You didn't even say that. You said Belial. And she goes, Belial. Why can't you hear? What the hell?
Anyway, I feel like they're missing a scene. He stole the heart. Where was the heart at? Who was protecting the heart? Who was defending the heart? How did he get the heart away? That, to me, is a very important scene that they should have put in.
Yeah, put it in an iron box and put it in a church or something like that.
Something.
Well, Calder goes to his apartment while passing Chloe and says that I'm going to my apartment to get something. And I'm going alone.
And she came up and was like, no, I told you I would help you.
And he's like, I can't trust my own people. How can I trust you? And she kind of takes offense to that. But
I mean, it's the fucking truth. Like, he's been with the Axe and Croft for 800 years.
That's what I would say is that she's giving you no reason not to trust her. And she's one of the most powerful witches in the world, apparently.
She don't know that.
Yeah, she don't know that. But I mean, still.
Right. Well,
She's
with her
like,
being a dreamwalker.
Come on, bro. Take her with you, man. Come on.
He's so used to working alone.
But she actually talks him into it.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
No.
Yeah, he goes
no.
alone. He grabs his
goes
shit.
alone.
And Calder
He
ends up showing up at the ritual site.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
With the shotgun. With
this-
only a
This
shotgun.
random under the bridge site. And he has a sawed-off shotgun. He sees Belial's truck. And then he finds Max and the tree. But it isn't Max. It's the Witch Queen talking through him. The Witch Queen says that he sounds so confident. And he said, well, you shouldn't have made me immortal. And before he shoots, Chloe shows up behind him and says, I came to help.
I told you to stay home.
A proof of fire is being blown at Calder's face. And it's actually Belial, not Chloe. He was using that shapeshifting magic again. And he ends up throwing a knife at Belial's neck. Right in the neck. Kills him. Which I believe kills him, right?
Yep.
Should be dead, right?
Should.
Right.
And
He's
then
dead.
the Witch Queen ends up grabbing Calder and sucking the immortality out of him. Sucks it right out of his dick.
Why can't he get away from that shit? Just kick her.
Well, he
your
only
legs
brought,
as long as...
He only brought a shotgun.
Yeah, don't matter.
And he dropped it.
Yeah,
If I grab you right here and I pick you up, use your legs to get away from me. It's further than my hands.
Well, she's inside him. I'm assuming she's grabbing his heart, his ribs, or something.
And he would love to be inside her.
No,
She an ugly beast.
She look nasty, bro.
She tells him that immortality was never his, it was hers. He was just carrying it for her, and then she ends up tossing his ass, and he gets impaled by this random rebar that's sticking out of an iron girder. Who puts rebar in an iron girder? Like you're building a bridge or a building?
No. The bridge is already built. Everything's already built. It's just protruding from there.
And there's just a random rebar just sticking out of the bridge.
Well, y'all bypass something that I'm completely and utterly fucking lost with.
How did he get there without going to the gas station? That was my thing too,
No. My thing is she gave him her immortality. So she freely gave him her immortality. He's able to heal from literally any fucking thing. What is the point of her freely giving him her immortality? She can fucking heal herself, and then, okay, she can act dead. She got burnt. Her heart's there. They would have already left. She would have healed up. She could have been alive this whole entire time. 800 years.
No.
What
If
do you
she
mean?
had given him that immortality, it wouldn't have tied him to it, and they would have found the heart and stabbed it and killed it.
She would have healed.
No, her heart would have been dead. She'd have been gone. She'd have been gone. That's it.
What do you mean? He heals.
If they kill the heart, which is the source of the magic, at the source of the immortality, the power of it.
Yeah, but by the time they got down...
Well, it was like a strategy on her part to make sure she doesn't die.
It was because, like a 1% chance.
Yeah, she was thinking, oh, these guys care about this guy, so if they kill the heart... then they kill him.
I'm thinking this bitch would have had time to heal up and would have dipped out.
I mean, it depends on how long she's been alive. She's probably been alive way longer than he was, and she came up with this thinking that, hey, this might work.
They would have found the heart. They would have stabbed it and been done with it. Calder would have been dead and the movie would have been over with.
I don't know. I'm thinking that by the time they walked, because they were all the way halfway up the tree by the time they came down here. That had been several minutes to 20, 30 plus minutes.
Same events. Same events.
I'm thinking she
It's
would have healed
just
herself.
Same events, just no immortality for Calder. So they would have found her ass trying to recover. They would have found the heart, destroyed it. End of movie.
Hey,
but since he was tied to Calder, try and destroy it. Calder's in pain. No, let's not destroy it. There we go.
I'm liking these debates, guys. Let's keep going.
Well,
I'm still thinking
as
this could have
Calder's
been
on
mine.
the iron girder, she ends up ripping the skin off of her Max and becoming her. And he's able to, Calder's finally able to get loose from the rebar, the random rebar that somebody put there. Somebody actually needs to find a construction company who did that bridge.
So is she blind now?
No.
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 She cured Max of his blindness right before she ripped his face off.
No, I'm just assuming she,
But
I don't know, transformed herself inside.
Yeah, she just needed
'cause
a body.
Yeah.
Like a cocoon.
Yeah,
for a butterfly.
That's the fastest resurrection I've ever seen, though.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
His dumbass didn't bring his sword. Just brought his
Calder ends
shotgun.
up crawling towards the shotgun, and she summons like a bunch of bugs to attack him.
It's the
like
plague
a swarm,
flies.
Swarm
Wasp.
of waving,
Witch wasp.
It's the plague flies.
and they end up holding him down. And she starts chanting these bugs, and they end up releasing Calder for 1 second, and that gives him enough time to shoot. But she's already gone.
I don't get that.
The Witch Queen is back.
Plague flies. Why didn't she just kill him?
Witch
I
wasps.
don't get. Why do you keep calling them witch wasps?
That's what they are.
They're plague flies.
They're witch wasp. They got stingers.
Calder goes back to Dolan 36, and he finally wakes up since Belial is dead, who was the witch who actually cursed him. And the color comes back to 36 in his face.
After you drink some tea.
Yeah, nice tea. A spot of tea will do it for you.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, man, the English, they love their tea. They can recover from anything with a spot of tea. And it looks like it gives a shot of whiskey, too. Or something to drink as soon as he gets up. Because, you think you were resurrected from the dead. You don't get a chance
Well,
to
he
breathe.
wasn't dead. He was cursed.
It was a little shot glass, man. Like,
He was just
some
cursed.
Whiskey. Oh, shit. Nothing like a shot of whiskey after some curses. Well, Calder tells him that the Witch Queen has returned. And he says that she used him to save the mortality for herself. And they call Dortelzio. Who the hell is Dortelzio?
Are you talking about Dolan 37?
This is that speech to text shit you were talking about, man.
This is great. This is funny.
I want to read you what it says. They called Dortelzio that he's seen what comes next, which is death. She's going to cast a plague on the earth. That's what it says. We got to find out who Dortelzio is, man.
That's a cool Italian name right there. Oh, damn.
Well, he says, we took all the powerful witches and put them in one place, and they're waiting to be released, waiting to exact revenge. And he says that they created the perfect coven. So he's talking about all the witches that they've ever captured. Mm-hmm. They put them all in, I thought they were in individual cells, but it looks like they're just in an underground.
It's a cavern. They're like inside the fucking rock.
Yeah, like
it's weird. How are they going?
Moist-ass room.
I mean, like, how are they surviving? Are they in like a enchantment where they're just in like a stasis type thing? Because like, how are they eating? How are they drinking? How are they going to the bathroom?
Do witches need substance though? Like,
they're still they're human. They just have magic. Like,
they don't need blood.
So,
well, 36 says you defeated her once. You can do it again.
And also, why were they not killing? Like, the witch council, they used to obviously kill the witches. But all of these ones, they just put them in the cells. Why would they, if it's such a bad offense, why are they not just killing them?
Well, now we get to the point of the movie where like in The Matrix or Blade, where people suit up, man. They get the gear, they get the armor, they get everything. He starts suiting up, and they get all the weapons ready for battle and prepare to go in.
Start grabbing rocks and swords and
well, Chloe's getting her potions and shit. Carter's grabbing his Calder's grabbing his swords and rocks and all kind of crystals and shit.
Well, also he's already acting like his left shoulder did not get
rebar.
Yeah. What's the word? Because it pierced through his whole entire shoulder.
Well, as he's getting ready to leave, Chloe says she's coming too. And he says, if I get hurt, I stay hurt now. Where does that leave you? And she says, I don't care who says witches can't hunt witches. Okay. Witches can't hunt witches. So they load up and they go out.
Mm-hmm. And they go straight to the cavern.
Well, 37 is blocking the road to the witch prison. And, I'm thinking like he's going to stop them from like going down there. But he's like, you need some help. And so they end up going with him. And she's already put vines all over the whole like witches council. Everything down there is just cursed and shit.
Because when you walked in, there's like a wasp's nest, like big ass nest.
Yeah, witch wasp.
Like flies nesting.
And so they go down to where the prison is, and it looks like the witch council has been killed already. And Chloe asks, where are the witches? And Calder shakes up his little bile he has, this little, like, what's it called, a little beaker bile thing. And he throws it, creating this bright-ass light that he didn't warn nobody of. He's just like...
Oh, yeah.
And just all the witches are in the rock. It don't make sense.
Yeah, and all the witches have been turned to stone or, sucked dry by the main witch, and she was using their power to create the diabolical plague that she's working on. And so he ends up breaking open one of the husks and pulling out one of the witches.
Do you know how he broke open that stone? Using his 800-year-old fucking sword.
The witch killer sword.
Mm-hmm.
How is this not broken?
No.
But as soon as he pulled this witch out, the necklace of one of the witch council ladies started crawling. The one that activated the giant tree a century earlier. And Calder tells Chloe that we need to kill him so that the plague can stop. Because they have him in like this trance. So in his mind, he's doing this chant that's encouraging this plague to be created. So they figure if they kill him, they can stop the whole thing, and then he can go kill the witch.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, you can't destroy the body, you have to destroy the mind.
Yeah.
But my thing is, if you shoot this motherfucker in the head, you're pretty much killing his mind, too.
No, it don't work like that. Well, he says, I wish there was another way, because, he didn't really want to kill him. And she says, you'll be here when I get out, right? And Calder says, oh, well, he doesn't really say anything, She says, you're going to take on the witch alone, aren't you? And they both wish each other good luck as she begins to go into the bad witch's dreams. But outside of the dream world, the sentinel, that tree monster, is coming for that prisoner, and it won't stop until it puts him back in. And Calder says it won't stop until it puts him back in, like I just said. So Calder goes to fight it. He ends up shooting it a few times, and then he jumps right through it, bursting it into pieces. But it slowly regenerates itself back to full strength.
He's acting like he has his immortality still.
And that's when the 37th, after he destroyed this thing, the 37th pulls out a gun and starts shooting it. But he ends up getting knocked to the ground, and Calder pulls out his super amazing sword and stabs the beast. But it looks like
he's riding on top of it.
Yeah, but it looks like it's only angered it. And it wanders off away from 37 and then comes back even faster than before. And Calder is riding it and shooting it at the same time.
Like a horsey.
And just before it gets to 37, Calder's able to pull out the small living necklace and crush it, killing the sentinel.
I don't know why this thing was moving on its own, by the way. Magic. Is that she had to like enchant it for it to start moving, and then she put it in the Guardian thing.
No, it crawled itself.
Yeah.
Well, it may need her help, but I mean, it's a magic thing.
Looks like a silverfish.
Well, in the dream world, Chloe found the evil witch, and before she can kill him, he wakes up and tries to strangle her. She's able to fight him off and falls and breaks his neck in the dream.
Which is the same fall that Calder fell from the very beginning of the movie, but this motherfucker died.
It was a flat back bump. It wasn't a neck bump. So he dies in the real world, and she has awoken from it.
If this was Kurt Angle, he'd still be alive.
Yeah, because he won a gold medal with a broken
neck. Yeah.
Also, with being Calder this whole entire time, like I know Dolan, the 37th Dolan, was there to help, but as Calder, I would not trust him. I would not trust him at all. The whole entire 800 plus years that he's been working with the Axe and Cross, they have kept a very massive secret to him. I would not trust Dolan, the 37th.
Well, you got to think, too, his best friend in the world, 36, also kept this secret from him.
Well,
but he trusts him wholeheartedly.
We see Calder going deeper into the tombs or cells, and the lights start getting real bright. And then he is in what looks to be a memory, or maybe the future. It looks like modern day, but vegetation has grown all across everything.
It reminds me of that Will Smith movie, the one I Am Legend. Yeah.
The Last of Us, anything like that. And the witch tells Calder that only she can see the future. and she tells Calder that he will fail. Mm-hmm. And she grows her claws like Meg from Family Guy or Sabretooth.
That's funny.
And Calder whips out a sword, trying to stab her, but she claws him right in the stomach, and they do battle. She cuts him a couple of times, but he ends up getting the better of her, and when he stabs her, she turns into a bunch of butterflies.
Well, before that, he apparently had enough time to do this crazy-ass, unnecessary sword twirl before he went to stab her.
But it was so cool. Mm-hmm. And we end up in the present day again, where she scratches him across the face and still runs off into the tunnel. He can hear his wife and daughter calling for him, and the wish that he says he wishes for death, but I don't think it's going to happen. And the witch says, you wish for death. I've seen it in your eyes. And he takes out that vial that he had before, throws it up in the air and slices it. And the light blinds the witch, but also catches Calder's sword on fire at the same time, with the sigils. He starts to swing at her, chopping at her with each, stabbing away at her, and she suffers every blow. Right before he was about to kill her, 37 shows up with a gun pointed at Chloe's head. Stop. Yeah, and he tells Calder that those witches that I told you that you saved me from, they were my parents, and you killed them. And he's been wanting revenge ever since.
Double cross.
So he infiltrated the group to save the queen. She gets up, and the witch queen gets up, and she goes to Chloe and uses her power to cause a lot more people to start the chant in the dream world, which activates the plague again that they had canceled by killing that one witch. And this black buggy mist starts going all over New York or Chicago, or
I think it's New York.
Yeah, it's New York.
Okay. As long as it's confirmed New York. It's not Louisiana. and she turns to the 37th, and he says, help him reach his destiny. She says that clay cannot be turned to gold. And without magic...
Wait, you missed the fact that Dolan, the 37th, shot Calder in the chest 3 times.
Oh, and yeah, she fucked him up, didn't she?
He fucked him up. And then that's when she was like, you can't turn clay into gold.
Which is kind of fucked up, because without him, she wouldn't have all this.
No.
She'd be dead.
A witch with no magic is just a human.
Right. But that human, he helped her.
Yeah. Bitch, I got you here.
Yeah.
Fuck you mean?
Well, also...
Please give me some money, hoe. Yeah, funky hoe.
But he was literally about to kill her in the exact same way that he killed her 800 years ago. How did she not learn from the first time?
Well, she ends up sending those plague flies or witch wasp to devour the 37th.
I think that was stupid. I would have used him. If I was the witch queen, it's been 800 years. I would have used him for his knowledge. Obviously, she can't give him magic, but at least be like, hey, thanks. I know you're just a, lowly human, but, thank you. I use his knowledge of the day and age.
I would say no, kill him, because he's no use to her. I would say keep the ones that's doing a chance, because you have Nightmare Hunter, right? And you got all the strongest witches in the world saying these chants. As long as the world is, taken care of because of these witch wasps, you can create a whole world of witches now, because all the people that's in prison that's saying those chants will get released. Then they can have babies.
How many are in there?
It seems like a lot. Whenever he threw that little vial.
Yeah, but those are all just the bad witches. I'm assuming she's just going to kill the humans off and then battle with the good witches, or she's just going to keep the good witches alive too?
No, because any witch that's in that cauldron is going to start the world anew anyway.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the witches that aren't in the prison.
They're going to get killed anyway from those wasps.
But they're not human.
So she's trying to kill the world, and then she's going to...
But the whole purpose of her doing it 800 years ago was just to kill the humans, not the witches.
She'll probably do that too. But as Calder's lying there on the ground, dying slowly, he sees his wife and daughter. But his wife, Helena, tells him to get up, and his daughter Elizabeth says, you need to get up and save them.
With 3 chest wounds, 1 shoulder wound.
And as he gets up, in the real world, he drops 3 crystals in some water, which causes this huge geyser explosion and some kind of tornado underground of lights and all kind of rain and mess. It's a storm in the cave.
There's fucks up the damn witch because she don't know what the hell to do.
Yeah, this storm has... we've seen this before on the airplane. Mm-hmm. Calder gets up with a sword, and as the witch is ready to attack, he throws his sword directly into the witch's heart.
Man.
With lightning, wind, and rain, and the whole storm striking causes a shockwave that blows Calder back, but we see the immortality gift kind of flowing from her into him again.
Why?
And the witch queen is turned to ash.
Why?
The plague immediately stops, and all the bugs and stuff drop from the sky. Even 36 got in on it, because one of them bugs flew into his window, and he squashed it with a Bible.
It's like, can't do that with an iPad.
That's right. I think it went back to him because it was familiar. It was with him for so long. The power was with him for so long. And if it goes from one source, the one source is dead, it'll just go to another because it doesn't want to dissipate. So it just wants to... Is
it its own entity, or is it not? Because the first time it was freely given to him.
Its own entity, but just like a magnetic force. Like it's been with him for so long that now he has a pull on it. He has some kind of forceful pull on it. Is what I believe. They don't say that, but it goes back to him. Chloe snaps out of her trance and sees that Calder's on the ground. She goes to try and wake him, and she believes him to be dead. But then he gasps and wakes up, and the scars and sores and wounds on his face start to heal. He looks over at the witch's body and sees her heart still intact. As he's about to stab at it,
Chloe stops her.
Yeah, and she says, "You'll die." And he says, I'm ready to die. But she says... there's got to be another way, because she says that when she was pulled into the shadows, she saw something much worse than the witch queen.
Multiple things.
And that if you were to die, it would be some bad stuff.
Well, that's another part that I don't understand. If there's several things that are more powerful than the witch queen, why couldn't they just all come out at, tag teaming it? Yeah, he defeated the witch queen, but I feel like she did it I feel like she was kind of stupid about it. I feel like if they've been in the shadows for a long fucking time, they gotta be smart, they gotta have a strategy. So why are they just waiting for him to die?
You say strategy?
Yes.
Strategy.
Well, he says that I can't trust anyone since the axe and cross betrayed me. And she said, "You can trust me." He says, "I've been doing this for 800 years. I'm always hunting and I'm always alone."
And she took her clothes off and she was like, "I'll give you 800 years."
Oh, shit.
New learning.
She did not
buddy
say that.
Boy.
All she says that you wouldn't be alone. And she says, "Besides, you still owe me $50,000. And 36 says that the axe and cross will be bothered that they don't have the heart anymore. And Calder says, "I don't serve the axe and cross anymore. He serves himself."
So what is axe and cross going to do? Because they literally just had Calder, the witch hunter.
Are they still around?
Yeah.
Because the witch council is dead. I told you, it was 10 people.
I mean, obviously they're still around because the 36 was like, what are they going to do? But
he's retired.
But he knows.
Well, the axe and cross is done. And 36 says he'll stick with him,
And how is he? Is he just trusting Dolan, the 36, just because he was planning to tell him this massive secret, even after holding this secret for 30, 50 years? I think it was, 50 years that they worked together?
50 years.
Well, he asked Calder, "What are you going to do next?" And Calder says, "I don't know." And 36 says, "You know what we call, us mortals call that?" And he says, "What?" "We call that living." And he says, "I'm at your service." And he goes and Calder goes and meets Chloe by the car. And she says, "I'm driving." And he's like, "Okay."
I guess this is a shout out to Paul Walker.
Yeah. Oh, wait, no, I don't know about that. But she tears down the road, burn that road up in New York, on their way to their next mission. As the camera pans up across the city, and it fades to black. And then we see Calder's vault, where he unlocks things, and we hear a thump, and the words go up on the last witch hunter.
I guess it is a safe place since you have to have that ring. He has to have the ring to get in there to unlock it. So, I mean, I guess that's a safe place, but...
Well, that's our review of The Last Witch Hunter.
I only have one reservation on here, and that is if she dies and the heart is destroyed, it may hurt him, but then the magic will dissipate from his body and he should be mortal again at that point, right?
He'll just age from however old he is, like 36, 37,
or
something like that.
He could be like the what's the witch's name in Tangled, where when the hair was cut off and the hair was destroyed, even
She'll
though
go to her current age.
Yeah, which was fucking thousands of years old, and she turned to dust.
I think he would be okay with that.
Okay.
Well, I mean, he would be okay, but I guess she's is like, there's so many things hidden in the shadows. You can't ever leave us.
Cells coming.
So I guess he's just forever, the rest eternity, just going to be the witch hunter while she's aging and going to die. Because she's, even though she's a witch, she's still
young.
a human.
She got some few years in her.
Oh. So
I don't
maybe.
know. Witches live for a while, don't they?
That's probably true.
I mean, it hasn't been stated in here. The books I have read, they've lived up to a few hundred years old. But don't know if that's counted into this universe or not.
Well, let's go ahead and get into our most informational segment with some movie facts.
Extra, extra, hear all about it.
We got the facts.
Woo! Yeah, I know that's all right. That's all right there. Well, I guess I'll start it off, Grizz, and I will go with this movie was actually Vin Diesel's passion project. The main character, played by Vin Diesel, was partly based on his old Dungeons & Dragons character, Melkor, who was also a witch hunter. Grizz, what you got on that?
I'm going to go with Kurt Angle is the third professional wrestler to appear alongside a movie with Vin Diesel. First being Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in Fast and the Furious. I'm pretty sure you guys know that. Second is Dave Bautista in Riddick.
Vin Diesel. Oh,
they were in Riddick, and they were in
that?
Guardians of the Galaxy too.
Oh yeah, he was Groot.
Get
the fuck out of here. Anybody could have been Groot. Get the fuck out of here.
So it's three WWE wrestlers, superstars that's been in movies with Vin Diesel.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. All right, Koala.
Vin Diesel had been a Dungeons and Dragons player for many years. He taught Dame Judi Dench to play on the set of Chronicles of Riddick 2004.
Okay, a mix of genres. She didn't really pass it to me, but I'll take it.
Okay.
The movie
Panda.
combines elements of action, adventure, fantasy to create a unique cinematic experience. Here's what you got.
Nice. In real life, the name Dolan is actually a surname for the Archbishop of New York City. So it's crazy.
Nice.
Koala?
Whenever Calder breathes on a window to reveal a symbol, that symbol is an Icelandic magical compass to help the bearer find their way through harsh weather without being injured. The name belonging to such a magical symbol is Veskavir, which is Icelandic for wave finder. Panda?
Immersive world building. The film is set in a world where witches live among humans and are policed by witch hunters instead of executed. A sequel in the making. Following the first film's release, a sequel was announced to be in development. Grizz?
I'm going to keep going with that. Is that after poor box office performance in the U.S., the movie did turn a profit worldwide, and disastrous reviews in its sequel was in doubt. That's why they didn't make that second one. That's why they was hinting towards a second one in this first movie. Koala?
Filming was initially delayed due to the death of Paul Walker, which delays shooting for Furious 7 in 2015.
Oh, that's probably why he was so monotone and his face was...
Facial expression. Panda?
Global appeal. The Last Witch Hunter had significant international openings, particularly in Russia, Brazil, and Italy. Grizz?
All right, so in this movie, they said something about Salem. And I know a lot of people really don't know about it, but it seems like growing up, it kind of seemed like they executed more people than they did in Salem. But the extraordinary series of events started in 1692, where only 25 people ended up dying because of witch hunting.
Wow.
In Salem. Not thousands or hundreds of thousands like we feel like we think that that's how much it is. Only 25 people died.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's not much at all.
The 1692 is a year before the Sanderson sisters had killed that little girl.
Okay, towards the end of the movie, Chloe convinces Calder to not destroy the witch's heart and to continue living. She justifies her request and then says, "Besides, you still owe me $50,000. The interchange is a paraphrase of a conversation between Vin Diesel and Paul Walker in The Fast and the Furious, where Dom says to Brian, "Besides, you still owe me a 10-second car."
Wow.
Panda.
That's pretty good. Cinematography. The cinematographer for the film was Dean Simler, an Academy Award winner known for Dances with Wolves. You ever seen that?
I've seen it.
You got any more, Grizz?
No, I don't.
Yeah, okay. Koala?
The Last Witch Hunter drives an Aston Martin Rapide, R-A-P-I-D-E, Rapide S, a 4-door sports car. Oh, Panda.
The musical score. The musical score was composed by Steve Jablonski, who is also... Your lips do all kind of crazy shit when you're saying that name, don't it? Steve Jablonski, who is also known for his work on the Transformers movie series. Koala?
Let's see. The witch's nest and surrounding forest was constructed on an indoor rain set and was actually burned. It was made mainly from actual tree trunks and branches attached to welded steel frames.
Wow.
Panda?
The Witch Queen. Julia Engelbrecht's role as the Witch Queen marked her Hollywood debut. Koala?
It says Vin Diesel has teased the development of The Last Witch Hunter 2 on Instagram. Despite Diesel's champion, the sequel's development does not guarantee its release. The potential storyline of The Last Witch Hunter 2 may focus on Calder's quest to defeat the Witch Queen. It says...
She's already defeated, though.
Yeah, that's why I don't... That's what I was like...
Well, her heart's still alive. Her heart still is alive.
But he kept the heart. He chose to keep the heart alive. I don't know. Panda?
So he could stay alive. Filming locations. The movie was filmed in various locations, including Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which stood in for New York City. Koala?
I'm going to add to that. I read from a reporter the portion of The Last Witch Hunter we saw being filmed was shot on location in an underground system of limestone mines about 45 minutes outside of Pittsburgh, a location that now serves as everything from a boat storage facility to an underground community, complete with roads and street signs and medical stations. Panda?
Visual effects. The visual effects were provided by a range of companies, including MPC, which is the moving picture company, and Rhythm of Hues Studios. Koala?
My last one is the filming began on September 5th, 2014 in Pittsburgh.
Oh,
Panda?
right. That's all right. Let's move on to our final thoughts. I thought The Last Witch Hunter was an okay. It wasn't a bad one. The effects were good. The acting was okay. You know, you can't expect much from Vin Diesel. But you got it. He didn't do bad. The battle at the end, I guess, and I don't know. I guess it was missing something. Maybe more of a battle between him and the main witch. But I think it was like 2 or 3 slices and she was down. You know, I kind of wish they would have showed more of her evil side. Like, what was she doing before the witch hunters came and gathered her? I know we heard about her attacking a city or something, but like, show us glimpses of her like really messing shit up. Show us some devastation. Otherwise, I'm like, you can say all that, but you know,
did she truly do it?
Yeah, but I need some more proof. And then Belial, he was kind of subpar. You know, I didn't think he was that bad. He could have been a little more. I did like the twist for the 37th Dolan. That was pretty cool. And then, is Chloe a love interest or is she just an assistant? Some things weren't made too clear, but I think it was an okay one. It wasn't that exciting, you know. I didn't really care if the main character, you know, the main witch died or not. Yeah, I probably wouldn't watch it again. That's why it's an okayed one. But it is worth at least one watch. Grizz? If a witch had destroyed your house and killed your wife and dogs, but gave you the gift of immortality, would you live happily ever after? Or would you say The Last Witch Hunter is a good one?
Bro, I go on every plane and hit up all the damn stewards. No, it's okay. Like you said, it's probably worth one watch. I think the whole loner deal with Vin Diesel kind of went to his head, and he's like, well, I'm going to start playing every loner movie because, you know, Chronicles of Riddick, all the lows, Fast and the Furious, when it first It was, he was like this loner, and then they became family. So I don't know. I don't think he has that much range. It has to be an action, like a XXX type of thing,
Mm-hmm. Which wasn't he a loner in that one?
Yeah, he's a loner. So it's like
wasn't he a loner in that one too?
You kind of got to give a little more emotion when it goes to fantasy, you know. So it's him. It's him in this movie that's like breaking everything down for me. The monotone, the only smiling, serious, or like no facial expression. It's like, come on, dude, you got to do more than that. Other actors, they did good. It's an okay one.
Thank you, Grizzly. Koala, if you had the ability to dream walk into other people's dreams and hurt them really badly,
would you cut their dick off? No, sorry.
Hold on. Yeah, fuck me up there. If you had the ability to walk into other people's dreams and hurt them really badly, would you make my lunch on time?
Oh, damn.
Or would you say that The Last Witch Hunter is a good one?
First of all, I don't be making your lunch anymore. Like, that's your job. That was a dumb one. Okay, so I think this was an okay one. I wouldn't say bad, just because witches, warlocks, all that fantasy type of stuff is such my vibe that it gives it an extra points. I think the plot was decent with the whole evil witch queen and an immortal witch hunter, but the story just kind of falls. It just seems like some of the scenes were pointless or took too long when they could have explained things a bit more. For example, how Bilali stole the witch queen's heart from wherever it was held at. I think Chloe and Calder's relationship seemed weird or awkward. It went from blaming, not liking, to helping, to trusting. Even when Calder's like, I trust no one. But then she's still there, like, helping him. I don't know, it just seemed weird. I think it was a bit dumb with the whole witch queen giving her immortality to Calder in the first place. With her immortality, she could have healed and stayed alive. I'm still sticking to the fact that she could have survived from the original 800 years ago. She's immortal. Fire or a sword in her chest that apparently didn't hit her heart, she would have survived. Then she sends her immortality back to Calder a second time. I don't know, it just seems like some details were just lacking. So overall, I'd say it's an okay one.
Well, that's all right. That's our review and our thoughts on The Last Witch Hunter. Now, we're going to move on to movie 20 questions. And this month's submission comes from Bob of Lebanon, Tennessee.
Come on, Bob.
Let the interrogation begin.
Is his name actually Bob?
Yes, that's one.
That is not one.
You asked the question. That's how it goes.
Because I feel like I've never heard you talk about anybody that says that the name's Bob.
All right, be careful now. Be careful. Okay?
Not no one.
Well, you better be careful. Let the interrogation begin.
Jesus Christ, Sam.
Let's do that for you, Zay.
Oh.
Okay.
We're just gonna stick with the year first.
Yep, year.
Was this movie made after 2000?
No.
Ooh, older movie.
Was this movie made between 1990 and 2000?
Yes.
Is this movie a action, comedy, or fantasy movie?
Yes.
Is this? How do you want to do it? Action fantasy or comedy fantasy? It needs to be two. Is this movie action or fantasy?
You gotta be yes or no question.
Is this movie action or fantasy?
Action or fantasy?
Okay. Is this movie action and fantasy?
Yes.
You want to specify it since we're...
Yeah. Maybe we can go with the top three actors, yeah?
Sure. But I mean, that's going to be a lot of movies. Action, fantasy, between 1990 and 2000.
So you want to get down a year? Or you want to...
I would do genre first. Is this a fantasy movie?
Yes. That's
Okay.
5.
Fantasy.
I know my favorite fantasy movie. I think it was the 80s. Could have been 90s, though. Was Willow. I used to love Willow growing up.
What is that one? I don't think I've ever heard that one.
It's with the midget actor. And they had the...
I don't think we can say midget.
Oh, sorry.
we can only say little person.
Okay. Well, he identifies himself
Davis,
as
ain't
that.
Vernon Davis?
Yeah. Willow.
Oh, no, it's...
No. It's
Something Warwick.
I can't remember.
Vern was Austin Powers mini-me, but Warwick.
This one he had a bigger neck. He was shorter.
Yeah, Warwick was a lot of stuff. He was one of the Ewoks in Star Wars, and he was a leprechaun.
Yeah, that's him.
Warwick Davis is his name.
I'm thinking about Men in Black. Wouldn't that be?
Yeah, something like that.
Straight up fantasy. I think we're going to have to do the year.
Because Never Ending Story was around that time too, right? It was the 80s. I cannot decipher between 80s and 90s movies because I loved all of them so much. All right, then let's go with the big three. Does this movie have Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Did he do any fantasy movies?
Yeah, he did Conan. He did, is it fantasy though? Terminator, is that fantasy?
No, I would... Fantasy to me is like witches, wizards, dragons, elves. Terminator's, I don't know, sci-fi, futuristic type thing.
Could be right. Yeah, you're right.
I would think Aliens would be fantasy. So I would say Will Smith or what's the white guy? The old guy. What's his name?
Tommy Lee Jones?
Yeah. I don't know if he's in any other...
But that would be sci-fi too, right? Anything that has to do with aliens.
I feel like we're about to fuck ourselves.
Yeah, bro. We already get this shit mixed up. I still say Arnold. I say top three.
Okay.
Right. Arnold.
Let's do at least Will Smith because that's for sure.
Yeah.
What's the third one? Oh, when was Lord of the Rings?
Oh, it's
was that 90s?
2005 to
the very first one?
It's like 2005, 2007.
Oh, what about Harry Potter too?
That was 90s? Because I remember seeing it in 4th grade. I don't know, 6th and 8th grade. That's 2004, 2001, something like that.
Okay, well, dang, those were like my main two big ones.
Wait, can we say animated?
No, but we confirmed that it was fantasy.
Fantasy animation.
I think we're not about to get this.
All right, let's do some actors then. I'm going to say the big three.
We haven't got the third one.
Well, Will Smith is not one of the big three. Sylvester Stallone is, though. He was in Dredd.
But that's not fantasy. Dredd is like, once again, like futuristic, robotic.
Oh, what about, oh, damn, what's his name? He's losing his memory now. Bruce Willis.
Was he in it?
Yeah, he was in Fifth Element.
I've never seen that one. Okay, so...
what?
Okay, so Arnold Schwarzenegger, Will Smith, Bruce Willis.
No.
I don't...
What about movies like Atreyu? Was it 80s? I cannot determine what's 80s and 90s, man.
Ooh, what about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle? Is that fantasy?
Still having a hard time determining what's fantasy and what's not.
Oh, Beauty and the Beast. That would be fantasy.
Yeah. Jumanji?
Maybe.
Peter Pan? Like stuff like that?
I don't know. For me, fantasy, once again, like vampires, werewolves. Not top of... When was the Underworld? Underworld, when did that come out? Ooh, there's also Hocus Pocus. When did that come
out? Hocus Pocus.
That was 19 in the 90s.
What about The Mummy?
Was that was in the 90s?
Yeah, it was nice. 99. Brendan Fraser.
Okay, so let's do Brandon.
Jeff Goldblum.
Who was he in?
Jurassic Park.
Let me do...
I think it's probably we should get down the year.
Sarah Jessica Parker was in Hocus Pocus. You want to do...
Yeah, we can try that.
Okay, Sarah Jessica Parker. Okay, is Brandon Fraser, Jeff Goldblum, or Sarah Jessica Parker in the movie?
No.
Okay, and we're on 8.
Yeah, let's get down to the year. Is this movie made between 1990 and 1995?
No.
Okay, so
95 to 2000.
Yeah. Was this movie made between 95 and 97?
Yes.
Okay. So we already said Arnold Schwarzenegger, so that means Batman is out, right?
Did we do anybody with... You mentioned something with Jumanji. Did we do an actor for him?
Oh, that's
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams, yeah.
We could do him.
What about Macaulay Culkin?
What was he in?
Page Master.
Ooh. What was his name?
Macaulay Culkin.
I'm going to let you do that one. Ooh, would Mortal Kombat... Would that...
Ooh, maybe.
Do you remember...
I don't know none of the actors from Mortal Kombat.
But
Lyndon
Ashby?
It's in 97, right? Yeah, so it's nothing past 97. It's
95 to 97.
I don't even know. Not a whole lot, but I think...
We got 3 right there. Robin Williams, Macaulay Culkin, dude, and Lyndon Ashby. Want to do that one?
Yeah.
No. Damn. That's 10.
Oh, he might have had it. He might have had a fantasy actors year. I wonder if it's got something to do with horror. like zombies type.
Maybe. What about Spawn?
Did we say Jeff Goldblum?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I know.
Do you want to do a more specific year? Because that's 95, 96, 97. That's 3 years. You want to do 96?
Yeah.
Was this movie made in 96?
No.
Oh, shit. Okay, well, it's 95 or 97.
Was the movie made in 95?
No.
Okay, so 1997.
So, sadly, I only remember a couple of movies from 99. 97 was not too memorable to me, so I apologize.
I feel like we kind of need to ask if it's an animated movie. Is this movie animated?
No.
All right, Bob.
Would Blubber be considered a fantasy? But wait, that had Robin Williams in it, and we've already said him, and that's a no. What about Spawn? Spawn was in 97.
Oh, yeah, that's a nice one.
What was his name? Michael J. White? As Spawn?
Yeah, yes, yeah.
I'm going to come up with...
Starship Troopers.
Who's an actor in that one?
Actually, damn, what's that gay dude's name? He got 3 names. I want to keep wanting to say Margaret Clark Duncan, but that's not it. But it's that white guy.
Asper or something?
It's that white guy from that TV show. Dang it.
Are you sure he's gay?
Yeah. Oh my God. He's gay. He's got that 3 names, Brandon. You know what I'm talking about. Oh my goodness.
I've never seen Starship Troopers, so I have no idea.
Neil Patrick Harris. Yeah.
I'm gonna do him. We just need one more. Any other movies that you're thinking of?
We already got rid of Bruce Willis. I think Starship Trooper. Damn it. Fifth Element was somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
Every other one that I know is animated.
See, I feel like all the ones that are in space, spacecraft, to me that's more sci-fi, right? No?
Unless you run into a world of unicorns, then it's sci-fi fantasy.
Okay, so we need one more. We already took out Mortal Kombat. I'm thinking of like...
Yeah, I can't stop thinking of animated stuff. Because I feel like something like The Matrix would be around there, but it's not. Like, I don't think
I feel like that's sci-fi, though. We just need one more actor.
Bob, you might have gotten us, man. 97 is a weird year.
Yeah, I was 3. I don't remember nothing.
I was 8.
What about Wishmaster? It had genies in it, and that was Andrew Dioff. Have you seen that?
I've never seen that one.
Genies.
I've heard about it. I've heard about it a lot, but I don't know anything about it.
Okay, we got 3 actors. Does this movie have Michael J. White? What was this? Newt Patrick Harris?
Neil Patrick Harris.
Neil. I can't even read my handwriting. Neil Patrick Harris or Robert Englund in it?
Yes.
Ooh.
Does this movie have to deal with space bugs?
No. That's
Okay.
15.
So that takes care of Starship Troopers.
Who was that one in it?
Neil Patrick Harris.
Okay. Michael J. White was Spawn.
Yeah.
And then the other one was Wishmaster.
Does this movie have a fat, obnoxious clown?
Clown.
Yes.
Hey! It's Spawn.
It's Spawn.
Should we be more... Well, there's no more specific than fat, obnoxious clown. Are we confident and just say it's Spawn? We got 3 more
This
questions.
motherfucker gonna say some shit like killer clowns from outer space or some shit. Is this movie, does it have a anti-hero with a big cape?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Spawn. Is it Spawn?
Yes,
Yay!
it is. All right, guys, congratulations. You got it. It came out in 1997. And did you know? Okay. Did you know about old Spawn?
Yeah, this is one of the... This is the one that started it for the Marvel superhero, didn't it?
No, it was Image. Image comic.
Okay.
Al Simmons is a hitman who works for the government. One day, someone sets him up, and he is killed. Of course, he goes to hell, where Malbogia, the devil himself, offers him a deal. Al will come back to life with a certain amount of energy, but when it runs out, he will return to hell as a hellspawn and help in the war against heaven. Al accepts the offer because of the love for his wife Wanda, But when he arrives back on Earth, he sees that the devil has cheated him. His face is horribly distorted, his body covered with a living suit. And the worst of all, he finds Wanda married to his best friend. Shattered, the Spawn starts wandering the New York's alleys. Yeah, Spawn was a good one, man. You guys got it. Okay, we got a streak going on here. Let's keep it up. But that is going to be it for us at We Real Reels. Be on the lookout for our July movie review, which will be Dodgeball.
Dodge, dip, dive, and dodge.
That's right. The 5 Ds of Dodgeball. I can't wait for that. That is a great movie. So be on the lookout for that. That's going to be it for us right at We Real Reels. Koala.
Bye.
Grizzly.
Hey, I'm 35 now.
Don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you can, and please share as much as possible. And also follow us on WeRealReels at gmail.com. Well, actually, email us there. If you have any suggestions for us at WeRealReels@gmail.com, okay, send us that, or get into our DMs at WeRealReels on Instagram. All right, guys, keep on reeling.
Bye.